it is okay.
Once again, very good morning to all of you. And first of all, we like to welcome Sri Atul Mathur Sahab, ED Sales and ITD. Sri Pankaj Mathur Sahab, very recently we met in one of the program. So once again, we like to welcome Pankaj Mathur Sahab, CGM Marketing CMO, and all the participants from CMO. For this first launch, we are making the first launch of this program on product awareness for better customer engagement. As you are all expert in this domain of marketing, so I don't have to give much speech on this, but only we like to remind you that it is the responsibility of all of us to provide the delight to the customer. And for providing the delight to the customer, the product knowledge plays a vital role. So for product executives of CMO, we need to have a detailed product knowledge so that we will be able to differentiate our product from our competitor. So that's a challenge we need to face, and we need to push our product in the steel sector. So with this training, definitely this will also boost the confidence of our product executives, and also the customer. Customer also will have a lot of trust on our product. So definitely, I'm sure that this particular program will help all of us, including customer as well as our product executive also. And since we are all interested for the customer satisfaction, so a lot of these customer inquiries, complaints can be addressed once we have a detailed knowledge regarding our specific product. And in the process, we'll be able to build the relationship with the customer. Nowadays, this plays a vital role. Wherever we supposed to make the things happen to push our product in the market, so relationship plays a vital role, and we need to have we need to establish that very good relationship with our customer. Once we'll be able to handle the customer's pain area, I am sure that the detailing knowledge in the specific product. And this is not only the one intervention, this is the first launch we are making. So in every month, we have planned that, we'll take up some particular product, and we are going to have this online interaction with our product executive, so that our product executive will be well knowleded, and they can explain, and also they can address the pain area of our customer. And in the process, we will be getting a good market share in the steel sector. So, and as already you know, this particular program, the product knowledge training, nowadays we also say it's a sales implement strategy. So for selling our product also, this product knowledge will definitely help us. We are going to discuss in today's program in online session the different specification of the product and their application. So application engineers from CMO, they are also connected. So definitely this particular program will help them. And also we are going to discuss about the different challenges that we are facing in the rolling area, and the different quality issues that we are having. So those information, once we have, definitely we'll be able to address the pain area of our customer. And also as ED Marketing Sahab has suggested that also we need to understand the expectation and the demands of our customer. So once we understand the expectation of the customer, we will be able to address their issue in an effective manner. So that is what I thought that I should share with the house. All my best wishes, and I'm sure this particular program on product awareness for better customer engagement, we have named it as a PACE. This is named by Shabnam ma'am, PACE. So product awareness for better customer engagement. I'm sure it will have a great success for the days to come. Thank you, and over to Shabnam ma'am.
Thank you, Atanu sir, for setting the context. We do hope that this program will also help achieve better employee engagement and satisfaction along with customer engagement. I now request ED Sales and ITD Atul Mathur sir to kindly share his expectations from this training program. Sir.
it is from. So I need not to tell much about how to go, but this program I expect from all the participants, particularly from CMO, to understand the plate, in particularly NPM and Bhilai plate mill, so that whenever you're negotiating with customers or discussing an order, you may be requiring a basic product knowledge and basic technical parameters, so that every time you cannot ask a customer, ki, we will discuss commercial and then for technical I will revert back to you. And not only that, but it enhances your confidence also when discussing with customers, because they also, though in a step ahead, we are also posting some application engineer with product knowledge at the regional level also. So my only request to our participant to be attentive, because since this is an online program and you are attending from your desk, maybe getting a lot of phone calls from region or from customer. So whatever time you can give, you can reply them कि भाई आप मेरे को 2 घंटे बात करिए, because it's a short program only for 3 hours a week. Keep your camera on, because जो बताने वाला होता है जब तक उसको face to face उसका interaction नहीं होता, it may be difficult to him to explain, to understand whether somebody is listening.
वो निकलेगा.
Keep your camera on, and whenever you want to, अरे थोड़ा अपना फोन को थोड़ी देर के लिए जरा साइड में रखते हैं 2-3 घंटे के लिए जब तक ये प्रोग्राम चले, so that you can utilize the time. So we are already behind, so I request start with the session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your advice and kind words of encouragement. We look forward to your guidance and support. So we will move forward with the session. We are a little delayed, but let us hope we catch up during the process. A special thanks to ED sir for your presence, sir, which makes this program so special. Thank you, sir. So now let us start with our first session for today, product specifications and applications. The faculty for this session is B. Kuntal Patwari, sir, General Manager RCL, and B. Krishna Giri, Deputy Manager RCL. So I just want to request Kuntal Patwari, sir, if you are there, sir, you can just say hello so that we know that you are present.
Hello, good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir. Nice to see you.
I am along with Mr. Giri here.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Welcome, sir. And thanks for agreeing to be here on again such short notice. So let me introduce the faculty for today. Kuntal Patwari sir is GM RCL RSP. He is a BTech in Metallurgical Engineering from NIT Durgapur and MTech in Metallurgical Engineering from Jadavpur University. Sir joined SAIL as MTT in 1996. He served in RDCIS for 20 years. In 2016, I request that people who are not speaking kindly keep yourselves on mute. In 2016, sir was transferred to RSP. From 2016 to 2018, sir worked in SMS2 operations. And in 2018, he joined RCL and is continuing till date. His area of expertise are steel making technology, casting technology, hot rolling and associated technologies like TMCP, control rolling, normalized rolling, heat treatment process of steel. His current assignments and job roles include process control and optimization of PM plates and HR coils at RSP, new product certification and licensing for PM plates and HR coils, plates, coordination with various certification bodies like BIS, NABL, etc., coordination with defense and DMRL authorities regarding production of defense grade specialty plates, specialty steel, customer interaction and coordination regarding inquiries, complaints, and quality assurance for PM plate and HR coils plates, implementation of state-of-the-art product testing laboratory at SAIL RSP. सर आपका बहुत सारा और भी था असाइनमेंट एंड रोल, but due to paucity of time, I am only highlighting a few. We also have with Sir B. Krishna Giri, Deputy Manager RCL RSP. Like sir, he is also a metallurgist. He has done his BTech in Metallurgical Engineering from NIT Rourkela. He joined SAIL RSP in 2018 as MTT, and he joined RCL in 2019 and is continuing till date. His area of expertise and certifications are hot rolling and associated technologies like TMCP, controlled rolling, normalizing rolling, heat treatment process of steel, auditing and maintenance of various QMS, NDT, that is non-destructive testing, UST level 2 certified by ASNT, that is American Society for Non-Destructive Testing. His current assignments and job roles include product testing and quality assurance of RSP products, PM plates and HR coils and plates, new product certification and licensing for PM plates, coordination with CMO regarding inquiries, complaints, and quality assurance. In the meantime, I request Krishna ji, आप आपका presentation share कर लें. Implementation of various digital initiatives, shipbuilding class certification, DNV, IRS, Lloyd Register, ABS, and also implementation of state-of-the-art product testing laboratory at SAIL RSP. So, is the presentation visible to all? I think you can keep it in, you can move it to presentation mode.
Yeah, ma'am, it's in the presentation mode, ma'am.
Oh, no, but then I'm able to see your other slides. If you keep it in presentation mode, only your main slide will be visible.
Okay.
I think that there is an icon for slideshow. Keep it in slideshow mode.
Yeah. Slides, right?
Yes, this one. I think if you click this,
Yes.
or do you need to do it before?
Ma'am, I'm just taking it in slideshow mode.
But it's not happening.
Is
Huh?
it,
It's not working.
in my side, it's showing in the slideshow mode. In your side, it's showing the normal screens, or ma'am?
It is showing in normal mode. What about the others? Is it showing in
Slideshow and click on from
Full mode. Full.
from beginning you click, it will come. The drop down menus are there, na?
I think अच्छा आप पहले स्लाइड शो में करके तब उसको शेयर कीजिए. Is it like that?
Full screen mode is required. Ma'am, is it visible now?
It is visible, but again, it is not in slideshow mode. But if others are comfortable, you can continue like this. Is it visible to all?
Yeah.
No, madam,
I'll
actually,
reopen
this has to only it is showing that not in presentation mode. Slide share mode में नहीं है.
That is
So
what.
इसको first before sharing, it has to be brought to the active mode, that slide sharing. Then only.
कृष्णा जी, आप उसको पहले slide show mode में करके तब share कीजिए. Probably then it will. Once you share, then it will not allow you probably to change the mode. आप desktop पर उसको slide show mode में open करके तब share कर लीजिए.
Okay, ma'am. I'm trying.
Never mind. ठीक है, we'll wait.
Okay.
You have worked hard for this presentation.
Sure. Ma'am, is it visible now? Anything is visible?
No.
No.
In that case, should I try to share?
Just a little. Let's try. Ma'am, is
Yes.
it visible now? Is it visible now?
But not in slideshow mode again.
Okay, then madam, you kindly share.
I'll try. Okay. Just give me a minute. I'll try.
आवाज नहीं आ रही मतलब मुझे आवाज भी नहीं
Ma'am, is it visible now?
Oh, did you share? Because I also started
Yeah,
sharing.
yeah.
Then I'll stop sharing.
ऐसे कोई गड़बड़ है क्या कुछ
Yes, yes, it is visible now. It is visible now.
okay
अभी
now.
ठीक से आ रहा है. Okay, someone was advising, please press F5. ठीक है, now we can start. Krishna, we can start. I request
Thank you, madam.
people who are not speaking to please be on mute. And yeah, over to you, Krishna. We can start.
Thank you, madam, for your not brief. Basically, it's a large introduction for us.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
I will not come into between you and the audience. I will just now hand over this presentation to Mr. Giri. He will be presenting on our behalf, but I will be here all along for this presentation. So I will request everybody that it will be an interactive session. So kindly stop us and ask questions so that we can clarify whatever is possible for us, so that we can gather a little bit of knowledge what is required for you to handle the customers and to reach out the customers and to see the customers problem and to understand their problem and understand our problem also, so that you can negotiate with the customer better. Thank you, Mr. Giri. Please start.
Thank you, sir.
I will just intervene. People who want to ask something, they can also type in their chat box. We'll take up the questions. Thank you.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. This is Krishna Giri, Deputy Manager RCL on this side. Today we'll be talking something on the given topic, product specification and applications. So the flow of our presentation will be somewhat like this. We'll first begin with the details of various grades. We'll have a discussion on various grades and then application sectors, different standards which they follow of different markets, Indian market, American market, European market, and we'll try to compare what are the differences. Then we'll move on to the technical specifications, detailed technical specifications of various product standards. Now, as we can see, there are a lot of standards. It won't be possible to cover so many standards in such a short amount of time. So I'll just list down few standards and I'll leave it to you. If there is any questions, please come over. We'll try to answer. Then we'll discuss something on the technical delivery conditions, which are the frequently used TDCs. Apart from these TDCs, if there is any other TDC which is right now in the market or the customer is asking, we are ready to clarify on that. Then we'll talk about the product features and testing, the testing facilities we have at RSP, the type of quality checking and quality assurance we are doing for our products. And then we'll move on to the USPs of RSP products, like the edges which we have in the market, the niche segment which we are supplying to, the product placement which we are trying to aim for. And then we'll talk on some of our success stories, some of our successful consignments which are given to the customers and in the recent past, so that we can actually discuss on them and think more on them, right? So beginning with the first topic, we'll talk on the application sectors and grades. So as we can see, I have selected a majority of 7 sectors which are predominantly in the market. Apart from that, there are other sectors as well. So I'll cover them in the next slides. So beginning with, we talk about structural steels. So we produce steel which are used for structural applications, specifically medium and high strength steels, which are used in welded, bolted and riveted structures, like in tall buildings, bridges, over bridges, any other kind of structure. The main application requirements of these kind of steel is a very good strength, and at the same time it has to be lightweight. It cannot we cannot design structures which are bulky. We cannot design structures where we need to put more weight or need to put more material to get that amount of strength. So we'll try to have a good strength to weight ratio, or we can say the specific strength. Then we also aim for a good toughness on the material, a good formability and weldability as well, because if there is a poor weldability, there is a chance that there will be defects in the long run. There are also possibilities of having lamellar tearing, weldment cracks. Those are possible. So how do we achieve all these kind of application requirements? We aim to do so by two methods: by tweaking our chemistry, by doing our alloy design, chemistry design, and to play with the rolling parameters, like the processing of the slabs to plates or coils. We see what chemistry we are making and what rolling parameters, like how much reheating temperature we keeping, how much draft per pass we are giving, how many passes we are giving, what is the cooling rate we are keeping. So in order to achieve these properties, now here I like to mention something like in the standards, we can see I mentioned few standards in the footnote. In the standards, there is a particular range of chemistry which has to be maintained. That is a specified chemistry given by the standard bodies, but that window is quite large. For example, for 250 BR, we are getting carbon of 0.22 max or 0.20 max, but we do not operate in that range. As per our practices, as per our experiences, the kind of properties we get, we try to optimize this chemistry, and we have an aim chemistry for our own plant. This aim chemistry will vary from plant to plant, within sale units and outside sale units also. Our competitors might be operating in a different chemistry. We are operating in a different chemistry. It depends on our processes. So we design that on a case-to-case basis, on a requirement-to-requirement basis. It also varies with the thickness. If my product thickness is higher, then I need to add some more amount of strengthening elements like manganese, maybe some microalloys. So that is also a part of alloy design. Then we then we aim to tweak our rolling parameters in tune to the chemistry. The chemistry which I decided, accordingly I will try to optimize my rolling parameters. That comes in the control and TMCP rolling. TMCP stands for thermomechanical control processing rolling, wherein we control the four parameters: the strain, the time, the cooling rate, and the heating rate. So by controlling all these kind of parameters, we are able to achieve different kinds of property in the same chemistry. It is possible to get a very high strength in the same chemistry. It is also possible to get a mediocre or a lower strength by tweaking these parameters. So we play around this, we try to get the best of it, and accordingly we design our parameters. Okay. Now there is another thing that is called normalizing rolling. We at RSP currently we do not have a normalizing furnace attached to our new plate mill, the PM plates. So we cannot do a direct normalizing of our plates. So what we do is we go for a normalized rolling. Normalized rolling is a rolling process wherein the final passes will be done at a temperature which will be similar to a normalization temperature. Had we taken the plate and put it in a furnace and done a normalization, the temperature what we had to maintain there, the same temperature we will maintain in the finished rolling passes. So we get a similar property, a similar grain structure, a similar strength levels. So this is allowed. This is allowed by the standards. So we'll talk more on this topic in the next upcoming slides. So now, as we told about structural steels, there are three major markets. I've taken only three markets. There is Japanese, there is German market. I've not taken those. Indian standards, American standards, and European standards. In Indian standards, we follow IS 2062. 2062 is a specification for medium and high strength structural steels. In American standards, it is A36, and there is another standard that is A572. A572 is a high strength low alloy niobium vanadium added structural steel. We add some amount of microalloys. It is permitted, it is asked to add some amount of microalloys to get that good strength to weight ratio. By having a lower thickness, we can have a higher strength as well. In European standard, the same counterpart is EN 10025-2. Now, when we see the physical properties of these standards, the values, they are like you can have an equivalence of one grade to another grade. For example, IS 2062 E250 VR is very much similar to EN 10025 S275 JRR. The values are quite similar, not exactly the same, but they are very equivalent to each other. So if a customer asks me for a material conforming to IS 2062 in a European standard, then I can easily take this standard and I can supply the material. It is possible. So a knowledge of these standards will be very helpful. Actually, these standards are long documents and it is not possible to cover here. So I just mentioned the names. These standards are easily available in Google or internet, or you can ask us, we can provide you. So you can go through. If you want to draw a parallel between each grades, that is possible. It is given in the in a tabular form. Next, I'll talk about another sector of application, which is structural steels with atmospheric corrosion resistance. This type of steel is mostly used where we need to have a very good strength to weight ratio. We do not need to make the structures bulky. We do not need to make the structure heavier, like with using very thick plates. At the same time, we also need atmospheric corrosion resistance. As we can see, the application requirements I mentioned, high corrosion resistance, and this kind of structures of steel may also be used in an unpainted condition. The specification allows us to use it in an unpainted condition, guaranteeing that there won't be any corrosion. So how to achieve this, the corrosion resistance? We use some alloys like chromium, nickel, copper, the ranges of which is already given in the standard. Then again we customize it as per our need. Now, how do these elements protect my steel from getting rusted? They form an autoprotective layer. They themselves get oxidized and they form a protective film over the base layer and prevent further corrosion. So this kind of structures are very much, this kind of steel is very much in demand in areas which are prone to corrosion. For example, areas near the shores, near the sea beaches, where there is a lot of moisture around, there's a lot of salty, you can say the salts are around. So we need this kind of steel. So for that, we also need to ensure it has high weldability, because when we add alloying elements, automatically the carbon equivalent will go high, it will rise, and more and
Just
more the
wanted to
carbon
make a
equivalent.
point here.
Sir,
Mukeshwar Mittal, I just want to make a point here. The atmospheric corrosion steel is not meant for the marine application. The coastal environment near the seashore, where the concentration salt and salty chloride is higher, there the fatigue goes more prominent. And this type of alloy design, is good for the weathering resistance where fatigue is not there. This is my limited summation.
Sir, your voice is not clear, sir. I could not get your question, sir. Can you please repeat, sir?
I'm not asking. Just let me repeat now. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
I'm able
Okay.
to hear you, sir. Please tell, sir.
Yeah, this atmospheric corrosion resistant steel are not meant for use in coastal environment or marine area. Because in marine area, in the coastal environment, fitting is more prominent. And this type of design is not workable there. Okay,
Yes, sir.
this is what I want to submit.
Yes. Correctly pointed out, sir. It is not used for marine applications. I meant to say where there is some chances of corrosion, they use it. Well, not on the marine application. There's a different steel for that. Cotton steel can be used. Not this kind of steel, sir. Right, sir? You correctly pointed out, sir. Thank you. Sir, for Indian standards, we have these IS 11587, and also sometimes the customer also asks to supply 2062 with copper addition. In American standards, we have A588, and in European standards, we have 10025 Part 5. Specifically at RSP, we have produced S355J2WN, where W stands for your weathering steel. Next, we move on to the next application sector, which is boiler and pressure vessel applications. Here, the steel has been categorized into three parts, where we use the steel for moderate and low temperature applications. There is a steel which we use for intermediate and high temperature applications. So this application depends on the temperature, like if they are used in boilers having working at high temperature, like steam boilers, etc. So they will go for high temperature applications. And there is another class here, which is a heat treated quenching tempered condition steel. So these are the three categories of boiler and pressure vessels. Now, what are the different application requirements we have here is YS to UTS ratio should be, actually it should be low. I have mentioned it high, sorry. And there will be high toughness, there will be high weldability, and we get this by simple same, again, we design the chemistry accordingly. We go for a TMCP rolling and normalized rolling as well. In Indian standards, we have two specific boiler and pressure vessel codes, which is 2002 and 2041. 2002 is a high temperature application, and 2041 is a lower temperature, lower and moderate temperature application grade. Similarly, in ASTM, we have 515, 516, 517, and 537. 515 is a high temperature, 516 is a lower temperature, 517 is a quenchant tempered, and 537 is also a heat treated one. For European norms, we have 10028. Right, sir? So we'll be dealing with the technical specifications in the coming slides. I've just pointed out the brief over here. We'll go in depth in the later slides. Next is there is another sector which we cater to, that is a very niche segment, and there is a lot of market I feel in the Western India and in the Middle East as well. Oil and gas pipelines. We had supplied material to Welspun and other customers. MAN also we tried. API grade plates and coils. There are some few orders as well. So in this segment, we need a very high specific strength, high toughness, high weldability, and the YS to UPS ratio has to be strictly adhered to, which is actually 0.90. 0.90 in most cases. Customer asks for a very more stringent one. And there has to be a very high level of steel cleanliness, which we ensure by using inclusion modification control, by adding calcium silicide and other methods, by using compulsory RHOB, which is vacuum degassing, etc., and a very low sulfur steel. So in earlier we had only American standards, which is API 5L, but BIS has developed another standard in line to the requirements of API and ISO, that is IS 18384. As of now, API is the leader in this segment. API has certifies everything, American Petroleum Institute, but BIS has also moved in that path, and hopefully we later on will be recognizing this and using steel for this standard as well. Next segment, which is again a very particular and very critical segment, very niche segment, I must say, which is the defense segment. We have a couple of certifications which are with us for giving some particular grades like Jackal Spade, TMR 249A, 249B, 301. These are grades which are developed in collaboration with DMRL and the naval authorities, which is Akansha for this case, and also with QAEN. So they devise their own standards. They do not follow any other IS or any American or European standards. They have their own JSS standards, joint services specifications, and there is another CDA. Then there is DMR. So these are the technology which has been given to us by foreign countries, and they have been tuned in as our requirements, and they have been under the custody of DMRL. So in this kind of steel, we have very different kind of requirements, like very high strength we need. As such, we need high strength, and as well as we need high toughness in sub-zero temperature. We go for testing at minus 60 degrees Celsius, minus 40 degrees Celsius for this kind of steels. And there needs to be a very high level of steel cleanliness. Without having a very good clean steel, we cannot achieve this strength as well as toughness. Several checks, and it is very similar to, you can say, API. The kind of stringency is more than API, but comparable, you can say. Lot of cleanliness has to be adhered to, otherwise we'll not be able to achieve the kind of strict norms they have given. Just for a estimation, I can say their YS, the yield strength with the demand, it rises more than 1000 MPa, and the UTS which they ask, that is also more than 1300 MPa in some kind of steels. Of course, they are used for tactical vessels, they are used for ballistic armor plates. So this is also a very good segment which we produce. Now, how do we achieve this? We need a very, very stringent alloy design. This alloy design is not done at RSP as such independently. It is done with a collaboration with DMRL. They give us our technical guidance and support to us. And we are the producers, they are the guiders. They guide us how to make it. So it's a joint effort by both the teams. Then there is compulsory vacuum degassing, there is inclusion modification, desulfurization, TMCP rolling, and heat treatment as well. Now, these standards, again, as I said, they are governed by DMRL and defense committees. So these were the few segments which we regularly produce. And there is another segment which has requirement. We are trying to develop some grade of steels for that, like Sail Hard and WR400, that is wear and abrasion resistant applications. These kind of steel are used in crushers, in mining industries, in earth moving equipment, the buckets for them, the digging tools, where there is a lot of wear and abrasion. So we need steel which is having very high hardness, very high strength, At the same time, it should have good weldability. Otherwise, we will not be able to manufacture components out of them. So it's a very compromising situation. We need to add a lot of alloying elements. At the same time, we need to keep the weldability in check as well. So how do we achieve that? We do same thing. We need a very specific alloy design. We go for heat treatment in this case, which is a quench and temper treatment is done. And there is TMCP and ACC. ACC stands for accelerated control cooling. Then the grades which we produce, we have some of our proprietary grades which are based on some international standards, I can say. For example, Sail Hard, Sail WR400. In Sail Hard, the hardness is around 200 BHM. In WR400, it's 400. And the strength levels are also very high. In American standards, we need this Hardox and Weldox. Hardox is a worldwide renowned grade which is asked by a lot of parties. We have tried to make something of our own in Indian for our Indian customers, so that they need not depend on imports and need not depend on the American suppliers for this kind of steel. It is somewhat stabilized, but it is not stabilized across the entire thickness gamut. We are still working on it along with RDCIS and the production units. Hopefully, we'll be producing more different kind of thicknesses in this grade. Next, there is one more European grade, that is EN10025 Part 6 S690QL. S690QL is a quench and tempered steel having very high strength, which is used for very high strength application as well as wear and tear environments.
Achha, let me.
One thing should be corrected here. This Hardox and Weldox are brand name of Sep'. This is Sep' company, Swedish company.
Yes, SSAB, yes.
Not application names. Okay, to correct it, please.
Yes. They're not standard. They are brand names of SSAB. Yeah, correctly pointed, sir.
Thank you, Mukesh. Good to see you. Thank you, sir.
Actually, now I just pointed out, want to point out one point. These sectors are basically the regular sectors, regular producing. We are producing regularly on these sectors. There are a lot of issues coming up every day or every time, every consignment. So let us just you may ask some questions on that so that we can discuss this. One point is that. Another point is that, as Mr. Giri was telling, there is a alloy design we do on the basis of the grade specified in the specification as well as the properties requirement. This is the two checkpoints that is there. That is another checkpoint is that our process details, how we are processing this, our limitations in steel making or advantage in steel making, that also plays a role in deciding the alloy design. We cannot design an alloy just like that, so that and we cannot process it in our case. So you need to understand, there may be sometimes you may come across some typical compositions a particular customer is asking. So in that particular case, it may sounds you that this grades is you are making, but this particular chemical compositions people are asking, and you are not able to give that. So there is a limitation maybe on our part. So we can discuss on that issues if anything is there from your side.
If anybody has any question, you can ask. This is a very good opportunity to clear your doubts.
Yes, these Hardox and Weldox grades, American standard as per, whether this Sail grade, Sail Hard and Sail WR400, is it equivalent to those grades? Or we are doing some other grades for this?
It's not. It's
completely equivalent. It has been designed for Indian customers as per their requirements. It is still in a development stage. We are making Sail Hard plates for lower thicknesses. We haven't ventured into the higher thicknesses, and maybe in coming days we'll be successful in that also, sir.
Miss, what is that? Miss, why these grades are not being produced by RSP? Miss, what is the difficulty? Equivalent grade, this Hordex and Veldox, equivalent grades, why RSP is not able to produce? That is my question.
Yeah. Yes. So there is a issue. This type of grades are being made, quench and temper process. So if you are doing a quench and tempering process, in the quenching process itself, a huge, in fact, strength is induced because of the transformation of the steel, and that is why plates is becoming little wavy in nature. So to reduce that wavy nature, there is a process, and there is a leveler after that.
That means we don't have a facility at this moment.
At this moment, we don't have this facility of cold plate leveler strong enough to maintain this type of hardness.
Okay.
So that is the bottleneck at our place at present.
Okay.
Actually, sir, when the plate goes for quenching and tempering, it is suspended. Like there is no force on the top to keep it straight. So when it gets into the furnace and when it gets quenched, it becomes wavy. Thereafter, we go for a cold plate leveler. The cold plate leveler, which is installed in a new plate mill, it cannot handle such high strength and such high hardness materials to straighten it up. So we did quite a few experiments, but still we are facing issues. That's why it is not stabilized for higher thicknesses. That was the issue.
Okay.
Hopefully, in the next few days, next few coming years, maybe we will be able to stabilize this. There is some movement for a new cold plate leveler also. There is some discussions going on. Maybe that time we'll be able to make this, because there is a very high alloy content here. So there is a case of buckling and there's a case of waviness, sir.
But Vanessa, at this point, I just want to add one thing here.
वो ऑफिस में रिपोर्ट करना है मेरे नाम पे 2:30 को मैं सेम गाड़ी में एयरपोर्ट चला जाऊंगा.
No, actually, why I asked this question, because we are comparing
और मुमताज को ट्राई कर रहा हूँ नंबर
मधु म्यूट करो, मधु म्यूट योरसेल्फ.
सेल WR
सही नंबर है या एक बार चेक कर लीजिए. क्या उसको एक बार
मधुसूदन जी थोड़ा म्यूट कर लीजिए प्लीज.
ये पटवारी साहब, this point I just want to add one thing here. जो मॉडर्न मिल्स होती हैं प्लेट मिल्स, उनमें क्वेंचिंग एंड टेम्परिंग ऑनलाइन होता है. क्वेंचिंग एंड ऑनलाइन होती है उसमें, फॉलोड बाय सेल्फ टेम्परिंग. There is no separate there is no separate unit where plate needs to be moved. So we should also think on the same lines where we can have a quenching facility which was originally planned in our NPM, but it was shelved because of some reasons. We should go for the facility on the online itself, so as all the facilities of plate mill can be used.
Yes, sir. Actually, as you know, sir, we are trying to get a normalizing furnace for our new plate mill. Still, we are not able to finalize that. So what you are telling, it's another step beyond.
We have to keep on making effort. But sir, we have to keep making effort. That's all.
Yeah.
So definitely, like there are plans which are you pointed out correctly. So there are plans which are having an inline quenching and tempering furnace and facility. So maybe in near future or sometime in future we'll be able to do that as well. So sir, moving on the next section, that is.
One second, sir. Sorry to interrupt. I have one question here. This is Rachna from BSO Chennai.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Rachna, go ahead.
Sir, yes, ma'am. मेरा ये कहना था मैम कि we just discussed around 6 to 7 types of tree. सर ये question है कि do we have standard TDC document available for these grades? जैसे for example S355 J2 and या फिर J2 जो भी है standard है तो उससे that makes the life product executive very easy. When we go to a customer and he says कि भाई मुझे ये चाहिए, so then we come to know okay ये grade चाहिए. Then immediately he asks us कि आपका plant क्या process for आपका standard operating procedure क्या है. He asks for standard TDC document. तो if we get that, then it becomes very easy for the further discussion कि भी आपको केमिस्ट्री में ट्विचिंग चाहिए, आपको मैकेनिकल वाईएस में कुछ प्रॉपर्टी में कहाँ क्या डिफरेंस चाहिए, then the further जो डिस्कशन होता है प्लांट के साथ या कस्टमर के साथ, it becomes very easy. तो वो डॉक्यूमेंट सर हम लोग को मिलता नहीं है जल्दी. It takes very long time, sorry to say, but it takes very long time to get the standard TDC. If you can make this available SRM साइट पे या कहीं तो.
नहीं एक्चुअली मैडम, एक्चुअली टीडीसी जो होता है जनरली टीडीसी होता है विद द कस्टमर्स, कस्टमाइज टीडीसी होता है तो द कस्टमर, अदरवाइज द ग्रेड्स whatever people are asking, that is asking as per a specification grade requirement. If somebody is asking EN
beyond the grade
10025-2, it is there in the what will be the requirement for AS355J2N or AS275JRES. What is the requirement? It is there specified in the specification. The properties as well as the chemical compositions as well as the delivery conditions. Everything is decided on the basis of the specification. But if a particular customer is asking for a definite or customized TDC, then that TDC has to be made according to the requirement of the customer.
जी सर, मैं समझ गई हूँ कि वो कस्टमर के रिक्वायरमेंट पर बनाना होगा, बट जो पहला स्टेप है व्हेन आई एम गोइंग टू अ कस्टमर और उसको अगर विंड मिल एप्लीकेशन में कोई ग्रेड चाहिए, उसने मुझे ग्रेड का नाम बता दिया. अब रेदर देन आई गोइंग एंड टेकिंग ऑल हिज रिक्वायरमेंट एंड पुटिंग इट वन बाय वन, कार्बन, मैंगनीज, सिलिकॉन, सल्फर, एक एक करके आरएसपी के इंक्वायरी फॉर्मेट में मैं डालूं और उसमें कुछ टाइपिंग मिस्टेक भी हो सकता है, एंड देन दैट गोज टू प्लांट. उससे अच्छा होगा कि अगर एक जेनरिक टाइप का जो भी प्रोसेस हम लोग फॉलो करते हैं स्टील मेकिंग में, रोलिंग में, या जो भी केमिकल या मैकेनिकल है, अगर वो रेडिली अवेलेबल हो, आई थिंक वो बहुत यूजफुल होगा, बहुत हेल्पफुल होगा हम लोगों के लिए.
और भाई साहब,
जितने भी
मैडम का
बड़े
जो कहना
कस्टमर
है,
हैं,
what I understood, जो रचना मैडम कहना चाह रही हैं, she want a generic table on the top of which grades are listed and properties listed down below and chemical composition. So so it's easy for the comprehend and understand. This is what you want. Madam, am I right? This is what you want.
Yeah, it can come
yes sir, and
also
along
as a
with that,
product catalog.
what kind of प्रोसेस हम क्या फॉलो कर रहे हैं उसको बनाने के लिए, ग्रेड में
हाँ
आरएचओ
मैडम,
भी कर रहे हैं.
प्रोसेस तो अपना जेनरिक होता है.
हाँ,
अब
जेनरिक वही.
मैडम, लेकिन पटवारी साहब, जो मैडम कह रही है इनको सबको हेल्प हो जाएगी, हमारे ब्रांच में सबको हेल्प हो जाएगी. आप एक टेबल बनवा दीजिए, ग्रेड वाइज ऊपर सब ग्रेड लिस्ट करवा दीजिए और नीचे रोज में वाईएस, यूटीएस, इम्पैक्ट लिस्ट करवा दीजिए, रूलिंग कंडीशन. तो उससे क्या, एट ए सिंगल ग्लांस दे विल एबल टू फाइंड आउट किस ग्रेड में क्या प्रॉपर्टी है, विच इज इक्विवेलेंट टू द क्लोजर ग्रेड. तो सबको हेल्प हो जाएगा सर, करवा दीजिए सर.
ठीक है, I got your point. You are asking for a generic TDC kind of thing. Generic TDC is being made.
TDC नहीं सर, नॉट TDC. लेट मी करेक्ट इट. मैडम का जो रिक्वायरमेंट आया रचना मैडम का ब्रांच से, वो ये चाहती हैं कि एक पेज पे टेबल बनवा दी जाए जिसमें सब ग्रेड्स उनकी प्रॉपर्टी लिस्टेड हो. से फॉर एग्जांपल, अगर अपन टॉप में ले लेते हैं ग्रेड और रोज में ले लेते हैं वाईएस, यूटीएस, एलोंगेशन, केमिस्ट्री एंड इम्पैक्ट वैल्यू, एंड देन रोलिंग कंडीशन की क्या नॉर्मलाइज है, अननॉर्मलाइज है, क्वेंचन टेम्पर्ड है. तो इससे क्या होगा, ब्रांच एग्जीक्यूटिव, इट विल वेरी इजी फॉर टू देम टू कॉम्प्रिहेंड कि कस्टमर क्या चाहता है और हमारी कौन सी ग्रेड इसके सबसे पास है.
अच्छा, you are telling that as per the standards requirements,
yes,
we should put down a table in a tabular form of different grades, which we are generally making.
Madam, this is what you want. Please correct me if I understood you correctly, madam.
नहीं सर, इट इज वन द सेम थिंग. आप जो बोल रहे हैं टेबुलर फॉर्म में भी एक्सेल के फॉर्म में सारे ग्रेड्स होंगे, दैट विल आल्सो डू. इट इज वन एंड द सेम थिंग. और अदरवाइज अगर एक सिंगल डॉक्यूमेंट हो, जैसे व्हील्स इंडिया के लिए वी गॉट फ्रॉम राउरकेला अराउंड 1 ईयर बैक, C250BR के E350BR के लिए, तो अगर वो स्टैंडर्ड डॉक्यूमेंट है तो अगर वो कस्टमर के लिए लिखा नहीं है, इट इज जस्ट टेक की सेल आरएसपी एनपीएम का स्टैंडर्ड डॉक्यूमेंट है 4250BR. then it makes my life very easy. I go to any customer, he is asking me, आप कैसे बनाते हो? I will hand over him the document. जहाँ भी उसको चेंज चाहिए, he can simply point out कि मुझे कार्बन में ये चेंज चाहिए, सल्फर में ये चेंज चाहिए.
सर मैडम एक ये चाहती है कि टिपिकल केमिस्ट्री, टिपिकल प्रॉपर्टी राउरकेला की हर ग्रेड की उनको प्रोवाइड कराई जाए. दिस इज योर वांट्स.
और धीरे धीरे करके एट वन टाइम नहीं, बट लाइक फॉर जेनरिक ग्रेड कुछ 2-4 ग्रेड्स के लिए अभी आ जाए, फिर स्लोली वो करके डेवलप हो जाएगा, तो वो हमेशा के लिए सबको हेल्प होगा आई थिंक उससे.
चलो मैडम इस मीटिंग के बाद ऑफलाइन आप बात कीजिएगा पटवारी साहब से राउरकेला में. योर इशू इज सॉर्टेड आउट. ओके
ठीक है. हाँ, थैंक
Yes,
यू
yes,
सर.
that is let them go ahead with this and we can take this separately. Okay.
हाँ
Good
आप बात
suggestion
कीजिएगा
from
मैडम.
Mukesh sir. Thank you. Okay, please go ahead with the presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for asking your queries. We'll try to sort it out. Going for the next segment, we also make products for the EME segment, which is our earth moving equipment segment, also known as yellow goods. Of lately, recently, we are having some of the orders and some queries. Like recently, we gave to IMOP also. Their requirement, specific requirement, is a very good surface finish. The other requirements like high strength, high toughness, good weldability, it is quite common and applicable to other grades as well. In this particular grade specifically, the party needs a very good surface finish without any scales, because it will affect its painting quality and the aesthetics of the end equipment which it manufactures. So for that, how we are trying to work on it, initially we took some trials, then we also produced with the help of mills. We tried to reduce the amount of rolled in scales and tertiary scales. We are trying to reduce the silicon content, low silicon. So after that, we provided some plates to IMOP, and the results are promising. We are working to reduce it much further. So these are the normal grades, IS 2062 grades, but with a customized TDC. Now, like Madam was telling, we have to give some kind of TDC. In this case, there will be a customized TDC by the customer, which has some different kind of requirements. In this, that has to be negotiated. That was the thing which we are trying to point out. Okay, ma'am. So this was the earth moving equipments. Moving on to next, we will see. Wait.
Sir, good morning. This is Abhishek Dokania from BSO Pune. Basically, what we are discussing in last slide for EME segment, the good surface finish, that is the foremost quality required by the customers up here.
Yes, sir.
But time and again, we are having this surface defects coming in various plates from NPMs up. So, is there any specific solution to this problem? Because here, what customer want is a zero defect. They don't want a single plate with surface defect coming to them.
सर नॉर्मली ईएमई सेगमेंट में फिटिंग का काफी इशू आता है और हार्ड स्केल का काफी इशू आता है. तो फिटिंग इज मेनली ड्यू टू रोल्ड इन स्केल. तो इसके लिए अगर अब इसके चक्कर में हम काफी सारा मार्केट सेगमेंट लूज कर रहे हैं, तो इसके लिए कैन वी डू समथिंग टू इम्प्रूव द सरफेस फिनिश? क्योंकि शॉर्ट ब्लास्टिंग करते हैं, शॉर्ट ब्लास्टिंग करने के बाद में वो जो भी फिटिंग होता है दैट बिकम्स विजिबल.
Similar case in Pune also. This is the
ये बहुत टिपिकल चीज है सर आजकल, क्योंकि ये पेंट एप्लीकेशन में जाता है. शॉर्ट ब्लास्टिंग करने का पेंट होगा तो जो भी हार्ड स्केल हो, कभी कभी क्या स्केल इतना हार्ड हो जाता है कि वो शॉर्ट ब्लास्टिंग में निकलता नहीं है, या अगर स्केल निकल गया तो देखा कि रोल्ड स्केल था, उसकी वजह से उसमें फिटिंग का इंप्रेशन आ रहा है. दीज आर दी वेरी क्रिटिकल इश्यूज. तो ये कैसे एड्रेस करेंगे, दैट वी हैव टू लुक इनटू.
ये कॉमन प्रॉब्लम है सारा ये मूविंग सेगमेंट जिन जिन ब्रांचेस में हो रहा है, चेन्नई हो या बैंगलोर हो, पुणे हो, बोकारो, एवरी ब्रांच दे हैव दिस प्रॉब्लम्स.
सबका ये इशू है कॉमन, और इसी की वजह से हम लोग मार्केट लूज कर रहे हैं. तो वी नीड टू एड्रेस द इशू इन अर्जेंटली. क्योंकि पटवारी सर जब आपने ये स्कार्फिंग में जो नोजल चेंज किया था, उसके बाद में कुछ इंप्रूवमेंट आया था, लेकिन राइट एज ऑफ नाउ जब कैपिटल रिपेट के बाद जब नोजल चेंज किया था तब इंप्रूवमेंट आया था, बट एज एट प्रेजेंट वी आर बैक टू स्क्वायर वन. तो जो हालत पहले थी वो हालत दोबारा हो गई है.
No, let me explain. We have taken some trial at IMOP at Chennai recently in the last month. So plates which was identified for the EME segment was produced at a plant, and there was some issues. Out of these two wagons plates, some plates was having a scale, but the 80% material was okay, good material, which was taken care by the RSP has rolled specifically for IMOP, and some observations which has already been given to the plant. And then plant mills actually has given the corrective and preventive action report. And next orders, I think they are going to take action for that. What are the defects observed in the recent supplies to the IMOP? So let us hope that plant can take that preventive, corrective preventive action in next supplies.
एक्चुअली क्या हमारा तो सर एपेक्स ऑटो और आरएसबी ट्रांसमिशन में काफी माल जाता था, उसमें हमारा काफी हम लोग काफी वॉल्यूम लूज कर गए हैं बिकॉज ऑफ दिस इश्यूज.
नहीं, yes, correct, sir. Actually, क्या है? There is for this particular segment, when it is identified, some special care has to be taken. Let me be frank on these issues. Special care has to be taken to roll this material. Special care has to be taken. So the point is, whenever we came to know that this particular material is for this segment, we generally try to take that special care. And sometimes, in spite of taking special care, we also face some difficulties. But as Sir is pointing out just now, that 80% of the material for the last consignment of IMOP was okay, but 20% material still we are struggling. So we came to we investigated that, and we came to an understanding what was happened to that. So this time actually we made another set of corrective actions, and we are hopeful that this time the order whichever is there for IMOP, we are going to implement all these steps whatever we have thought. And after that, we are hopeful that this time, in this case, 100% cases will be okay. So now the point is, there are several customers are taking this material, and maybe actually we are not able to understand that this material application is that. So the best thing is that if we implement in 100% cases in this care, that will be the best to do. We are in line of trying to go for that. There is one check is that generally we for this EME sector, whenever identified, we went for a low silicon variety. If you understand, in our steel making was predominantly for 2 years back also, predominantly it was silicon manganese based. So that is why the low silicon was not possible for us. But nowadays we have gone for aluminium, ferromanganese route. So for that actually silicon restriction was a little bit possible. But there is a cost implication for that, because ferromanganese cost is costlier than silicomanganese. So we have to take a balance between this.
I think if the plant take the precautions for this particular segment, will be succeed in this segment also.
Yeah. So that is why we have developed a customized TDC for this EME sector, and we are trying to follow that TDC for that segment, which we like IMOP and RSB transmission.
That's.
Thank you, Pradeep Kumar sir, for joining even when you're on tour. And our next session is on rolling challenges and quality issues. So we can discuss this further in the next session with NPM. We'll continue with the presentation so that we are able to finish at least session 1. Over to you, Giri. Kindly proceed.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. So apart from this regular production which I talked about, which are actually the bulk, after that also we produce certain grades. I have just jotted down a few of them. There are many such grades. Like we are having forming and flanging applications. There is LPG cylinders. There is high strength LPG cylinder. We also produce for zinc pots, which we colloquially call DSQ plates, which is having very low carbon, low manganese to keep the carbon equivalent on the lower side. Moving on to next, we'll be talking on the technical specifications. Here, I must say that there are a lot of standards, lot of specifications. It's not possible to discuss all of them. So what I have done is I have tabulated the applicable specifications side by side to the product specification. What is the testing standards for the product standards and what are the inspection standards. So accordingly, orders can be booked. Accordingly, the customers can be sensitized. This is a requirement. आपको इसी में ही लेना है, and you have to stick to this. Or if you add a different specification, you need to go for a different product. So that is there. So this is a very brief overview. I'll just skim through fast. The standards, we are having two types of standards. One is a product standards and one is testing standards. Again, how we decipher product standards, whenever there is an order, whenever we talk of a grade, every grade has a meaning. The name itself speaks about the grade. For example, I have taken IS 2062 grades. The first two letters will tell you that it's an Indian standard. Then 350 will tell you that the minimum YS in the lower thickness, the least thickness, what is the minimum YS to be achieved. And BR stands for room temperature charp. Then there is another type of steel which is our boiler quality, where we have R220. I have taken example R220. R stands for room temperature quality. We need to do the tensile testing in the room temperature. And there is another counterpart to it, which is H355. In H grades, we need to do a high temperature tensile testing, which we currently do not have at RSP. In the new upcoming test house, we have tried to incorporate this. So it will be possible in that when it comes. And the next numbers, which is 220 and 355, they tell us about the yield strengths of the material. So this is how we can at least understand what grade it is. We can make the customer understand what kind of material he is expecting and what is the requirements of that material without directly going to the standards. We can see the name and we can talk about it. There is another grade I told about flanging operations, forming and flanging operations. We mix HR sheets and strip from this, wherein H stands for hot rolled steel, and then the number gives you the yield strength and S gives the designation. This designation is dependent on the application. We are having structural steel, we are having HSLA, we are also having high strength structural steel, ferritic magnetic steel, then we have dual phase steel, multi-phase, martensitic. There are a lot of grades in this particular standard. If you go, there are so many grades. It is dependent on the type of application the customer has. Then we are having ASTM standards. ASTM, the numbers which we talk about, like A515, just some time back we talked about A516, A515. What does A stands? A stands for ferrous metals. If the material changes, then this numbering will also change. So by looking at the standard, we can identify whether he is asking for the correct material or not. Then grade 60 is the yield strength in pounds per square inch. Then we are having this. There might be sometimes there might be some confusion amongst customer or maybe between us also. Like sometimes they ask you A516 and sometimes someone will ask you SA516. Now what is the difference between A516 and SA516? They're one and the same. They're the same thing. It is just that it is used by two different societies. One society is of American Society of Mechanical Engineers, which is ASME. When you are using ASME, it will be called ASME SA516. And when you are using ASTM, it will be called ASTM A516. So it should not be confused that they are two different grades. They're the same grade, but the nomenclature is different. Then in some cases, there will be a requirement when the party will ask you, suppose A20M chahiye, or suppose the year of revision will be given. So M stands for metric units. When you are using metric units, it is just A20M. It is nothing different. It is the same standard. So it should not be a confusion. Okay, next the EN standards, which we are supplying for the domestic as well the European market. We see 10025. 10025 is a list of standard, part 1 to part 6. Part 1 is a general specification, part 2 is for structural steels, part 3 is for fine grain weldable steel, similarly and so forth till part 6. S stands for your structural steel, 355 is your YS, JKL on the table on the right hand side, I have tried to show the values which correspond to the letters. J stands for 27 joules, K stands for 40 joules, L stands for 60 joules. And the temperatures on the corresponding to the letters are 0, 2, 3, 5, 6. As such, the customer asks. There was a grade I talked about, S355J2WN. W stands for weather resistant steel. Whenever the party is asking for weather resistant steel, we will go for 10025 part 6. Part 6 AS355 J2 WN. 2 means minus 20 HRP, J means 27 joules, and W means your weather resistant. It will have some copper addition into it. Okay, so this was how we are actually reading out the standards, how we are trying to understand. And this in this particular table, it's a long table. I've just tried to correlate the product standards with the testing standard and inspection specifications for Indian, US, and European market. Nothing to memorize. All of this is available in Google or maybe with us. So whenever we are doing any testing, whenever we are doing any quality assurance, we follow a particular standard testing method for a given product. I cannot do a testing of IS 2062 by using ASTM A370. I cannot do a testing for ASTM A572 by using IS 1608. It cannot be done because the testing methodology in both the standards is different. So if a party is taking material from us and asking this kind of combinations, that has to be mutually agreed. And if a party is suppose taking a material to be tested in some different lab, external lab, there also this has to be seen whether the right material is tested along the right testing standards or not, because the results will differ depending on the loading rate, depending upon the straining rate, depending on the cooling methodology, which is mentioned in this standards. So this is structural steels. I have not jotted down the entire standard here, not possible. Just given some important points which I felt like there can be some other points we can talk on that. But these are few points which I found interesting. Like in IS 2062, if you see in all our 350, 450 grade materials or 14 grade materials, we are using in microalloy addition. But addition of microalloy is not specified in the chemical composition of the standard. Only carbon, manganese, phosphorus, sulfur, silicon, and aluminum is given. Niobium, vanadium addition is optional. It is on the discretion of the manufacturer. But we add niobium and vanadium for higher grades like 450, 410 to achieve a particular set of properties. If we are able to achieve those properties without adding any microalloys, it's a win-win case for us. We'll be saving a lot of production costs on the account of microalloy addition, and it will be easier for us to produce. There will be lesser soaking time. There will be easier rolling. But again, from our experience, we need some amount of there are some limitations in our mill. There is some limitation in our process. That is why we are trying to add. Another point I would like to say at this point is, earlier we were using dual combination of alloys, niobium plus vanadium. But after some time, we did some research at our end. We did some trials. We did some experiment. We talked with the process owners from SMS and NPM. And we have now come down to one single element, one single microalloy. We are only giving vanadium in most cases to achieve the sub-zero impact temperatures. Earlier, niobium was also given, vanadium was also given. So we have cut down some costs, some production cost on account of these grades. But for higher thicknesses, like 450 BR and a higher thickness, we are using both. So this is how the chemistry is there for 2062. And for 572, I had listed earlier, 572 is the alloy steel. It is having some microalloy addition, that is niobium and vanadium. We cater orders for 572 type 2 grade 50, type 1 sometimes and type 3 sometimes. In this, the type is decided by the chemical composition, whether niobium is there, whether vanadium is there, whether both of them are there, or whether titanium is there. The values are on the screen. It is also available in the standard. It can be easily referred to. So whenever a particular request or an inquiry comes, we need to see whether we will be able to make with those elements or not. Only then we can give a comment. Now this is for boiler and pressure vessels. Similarly, like the last slide.
Sir, I have a query on this testing method, sir.
Sir.
Sir, I am Rakesh Das from Hyderabad. Sir, if we enter any order in IS grade, IS 2062, 250 BR or 350 BR, and nothing specific TDC has been mentioned regarding shape of the plate or shape of the coil. Or in case of HSM plate or PM plate, sir, what standard do we follow in case of flatness or regarding shape or rectangularity if it is not mentioned in the IS?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Nice question, sir. There is possibility because the customer might not be knowing what are the testing standards. He might not be a very technical person. He might be just a commercial person. So he will tell you that I need IS 2062 E350BR. In that case, sir, in the standard itself, IS 2062 standard itself, it is mentioned कि आपको कौन सा स्टैंडर्ड में टेस्टिंग करना है. They have already written कि you have to go for IS 1608 for tensile test. They have mentioned that you have to go for IS 1757 for CHAPI test. It is already mentioned in the standard. So if the customer does not mention anything about the testing standards, then we will follow the testing standard which is given in the product standard, sir. Am I clear? And the
yes, sir. But my query is different, sir. If that is not mentioned in the IS, that regarding specific regarding the shape.
Okay, okay. So you are talking about
if it is not mentioned the IS, what from which standard we derive? We take.
Okay. I got a question now, sir. You are asking me about flatness and surface properties, right, sir?
Right.
Okay. So, for flatness and surface properties, the most used standard is EN 10029. 10029 is used for EN standards, but there are customers who agree if you do an inspection on basis of 10029, that it is acceptable. In such cases, it has to be specifically asked to the customer कि आपको कौन सा standard में चाहिए inspection. Accordingly, we will perform the inspection and give the report, because there might be tolerances which are different in other standards like ISO 7452. 7452 में जो dimensional tolerance है and the dimensional tolerance which is there in 10029, they are different. So the customer might not agree to it. So beforehand, when we accept the order, we should ask them कि in which standard or which specification, according to which standard and specification you want your testing to be done. Specifically the surface and dimension.
I will add here one thing, Giri. Earlier in Belai also referring ASTM A6 for the flatness, if I'm not mistaken. But now of late, a Indian standard has come for the flatness. I don't remember the number. If you can find that number,
it is IS 16160, sir.
IS 16160.
Yes, sir.
So okay, sir. In the product standard, sir, this has not been updated. I think the next revision it should come. In the product standard, it is silent on this. That is why we can refer to EN standard as well, sir. Possible, sir.
कुंतल सर एक और प्रीवियस स्लाइड पे एक बार जाएंगे क्या? वो ASTM 572 इसमें आप टाइप 1 टाइप 2 के बारे में लिखे हैं. इसमें ग्रेड में कभी कभी ASTM ये 572 ग्रेड 50 ग्रेड 60 भी लिखा रहता है. उसका क्या सिग्निफिकेंस है?
हाँ सर, इसमें बोलना चाहूंगा सर, ये जो 572 है ये टाइप 1 टाइप 2 एंड टाइप 3 जो है इट इज बेस्ड ऑन द केमिकल कॉम्पोजिशन. इसके बाद में देयर आर ग्रेड्स. ग्रेड 50 है, ग्रेड 65 है, ग्रेड 55 है. दोज आर डिपेंडिंग ऑन द स्ट्रेंथ लेवल्स.
UTS
जिसमें 345 UTS एंड YS सर. अकॉर्डिंगली ग्रेड चेंज होता है. जैसे E250BR हो गया, YS UTS पे जाएगा सर स्ट्रेंथ लेवल्स पे.
नहीं, अगर ग्रेड 50 मतलब 500 YS मान सकते हैं क्या?
नहीं, ग्रेड 50 का मतलब 15 KSI सर. 50 KSI that is.
अच्छा, 50 KSI. ओके.
जी सर. Okay, sir. So, sir, after this boiler pressure vessel में 2-3 छोटा पॉइंट में लिया हूँ जो कि शायद ऑर्डर करने के समय में हेल्पफुल होगा. जैसे कि फॉर IS 2002, that is your intermediate and high temperature application, you can see here, sir, it is plates are to be supplied in normalized or controlled roll condition. ये बाय डिफॉल्ट है. 2002 में आपको नॉर्मलाइज प्लेट देना है, नहीं तो कंट्रोल रोलिंग में देना है. सो वी गो फॉर अ कंट्रोल रोलिंग. अगर पार्टी स्पेसिफिकली आस्किंग कि मेरे को नॉर्मलाइज चाहिए, देन इट हैज टू बी गिवन इन रिटन. ऐसा कभी होता है इन सम ऑफ द ऑर्डर्स वेयर देयर इज नो मेंशन इन द TDC, देयर इज नथिंग मेंशन, बट द पार्टी अगेन आस्क्स अस कि दिस प्लेट्स हैव टू बी नॉर्मलाइज्ड. In such a situation, it is not possible for us to certify. So beforehand, it has to be communicated कि what kind of condition you require. Accordingly, we'll accept the order and we'll process it. This is a point. And sir, in this 2002, it has to be a coarse grain austenitic structure. They cannot ask me for a fine grain austenitic structure. Not possible, sir. Because if I go for a fine grain austenitic structure in 2002, it is a high temperature application steel. At higher temperature, there will be grain boundaries sliding, because finer the grains, more number of grain boundaries. So at a high temperature, these grain boundaries will soften, and after softening, there will be grain boundary sliding and the material will fail. That is the reason there is a maximum limit of aluminium, that is 0.02% in this kind of steel. If I go to the next kind of steel, that is 2041, there you will see that there is a fine austenitic grain size requirement and a minimum level of aluminium 0.02. There is a maximum on 2002, there is a minimum in 2041. उसमें coarse grain चाहिए, इसमें fine grain चाहिए. This is because इनका application different temperatures में होता है. So that it has to be cleared with the customer during the TDC stage, so that गलती से वो fine ना मांग ले. And you can see, sir, there is a normalization requirement for plates above 12 mm thickness. 12 mm thickness में normalized condition में देना है. But 12 mm thickness में we are giving normalized rolled. Normalized rolling करके हम देते हैं. That has to be agreed between the supplier and the purchaser at the TDC stage. कहीं ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि वो मिस कर जाए अपने साइड से, तो हमें ये थोड़ा सा ध्यान रखना चाहिए, सर. And next we go for 515. 515 is similar to 2002. सिमिलर है, उसमें भी कोर्स ग्रेन चाहिए, बट इसमें क्या है कि प्लेट्स बिलो 50 mm में आप नॉर्मल एज रोल कंडीशन में दे सकते हैं. एट ग्रेटर देन 50 इट हैज टू बी नॉर्मलाइज्ड. इफ आई गो टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड, देयर आई कैन सी 515 516. ये सिमिलर है 2041 के साथ. 2041 के साथ सिमिलर है. इसमें आपको चाहिए फाइन ग्रेन. और इफ आई गो टू द एंड फिर जब हम डुअल सर्टिफिकेशन में बात करेंगे, आई हैव मेंशन्ड दैट 2002 can be clubbed with A515, 2041 can be clubbed with 516, 2041 can be clubbed with 537 also. जब ये क्लबिंग होगा, जब ये डोल सर्टिफिकेशन होगा, सर, जिसका भी लोवेस्ट वैल्यू होगा उसको हम लेंगे. इस केस में वो हो गया आपका 2002, दैट विल बी द पासिंग क्राइटेरिया. एंड उसका जो भी होगा नॉर्मलाइजेशन कंडीशन या फिर नॉर्मलाइज रोलिंग कंडीशन, दैट हैज टू बी एडहियर्ड टू. सो जब भी ये डुअल सर्टिफिकेशन वाला मामला आता है, थोड़ा सा टीडीसी में हमको थोड़ा कॉशियस रहना पड़ेगा कि ये हमने सही से चेक किया है कि नहीं. अगर वो कुछ और मांग ले, कुछ और हम सर्टिफाई करके दे दें, टीसी बनने के बाद थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम होता है. बिकॉज राइट नाउ वी आर मेकिंग द टीसीज इन डिजिटल फॉर्मेट विद डिजिटल सिग्नेचर. वंस द डिजिटल सिग्नेचर इज गॉन, इट इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू एडिट एंड मॉडिफाई द टीसीज. अर्लियर इट वाज पॉसिबल बिकॉज स्कैन सिग्नेचर्स थे. राइट नाउ इट इज वेरी इट्स बिट टफ टू चेंज इट. इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल लाइक दैट. ठीक है. एंड फॉर 537 ASTM A537, it is a heat treated carbon manganese silicon steel. Class 1 is normalized steel. We have supplied 537 class 1 to BVPCL project recently. Class 2 is a quench and temper steel. Class 3 is also a quench and temper steel. दोनों में difference सिर्फ इतना है. Class 3 का जो tempering temperature होता है, that is on the higher side, that is 620. जो Class 2 का temperature होता है, that is 595. Class 2 का जो tensile strength है, it is higher than Class 3 because उसका tempering temperature थोड़ा कम है. ये टेम्परिंग टेम्परेचर ज्यादा इसलिए है क्योंकि पेरियोडाइजेशन चाहिए उसको. उसका जो फेजेस है, दैट हैज टू बी रिफाइंड. दैट इज अ रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ द कस्टमर. वो एप्लीकेशन टू एप्लीकेशन वैरी करेगा. सो अकॉर्डिंगली द मटेरियल हैज टू बी चोजन बाय द कस्टमर, सर. नेक्स्ट हम जाएंगे सर टेक्निकल डिलीवरी कंडीशंस पे, जो कि हमारा आए दिन वी नीड आई टॉक विद अ लॉट ऑफ मैंने सर्स एंड मैडम फ्रॉम सीएमओ, जो कि हमारा कंडीशन होता है टीसी में हम उसको सर्टिफाई करते हैं. वो थोड़ा थोड़ा कंफ्यूजिंग टर्म्स है, जैसे कि नॉर्मलाइज रोलिंग, कभी कंफ्यूज हो जाते हैं हम लोग नॉर्मलाइजेशन फर्नेस नॉर्मलाइजेशन के साथ. दोनों का मीनिंग अलग है, बोथ आर डिफरेंट, बट इन एसेंस एज प्रॉपर्टी वाइज ये इक्विवेलेंस ड्रॉ आउट किया है इन दिस स्टैंडर्ड्स. IS 2062 में बोला है कि जो नॉर्मलाइजेशन टेम्परेचर है, इफ यू रोल योर फाइनल पासेस इन दैट टेम्परेचर, then that the structure which we get, the properties which we get, it will mimic to that of a normalized steel. That is why it is called normalized rolling. This definition which I have cited here, it is taken directly from the standard.
There is a point in cooling in air.
In cooling air, yes, it will be cooling in air below the transformation temperature. That has to be done. आपका जो furnace normalization होता है, it has to be heated to upper critical temperature, AC3 temperature, and then it has to be cooled in air. Both. तो हायर थिकनेस का जो प्लेट आता है हमारे पास बॉयलर का, वी गो फॉर फर्नेस नॉर्मलाइजेशन. on a thinner side we go for NR. ये सेम चीज टीसी में आपका मेंशन होता है, सर. many cases there is a doubt with the customers, or maybe some clarity is missing in the TDC. They ask for degassing. In our TCs, we mention the process route as BF, BOF, RHOB, CC, then NPM. RHOB, which we mentioned, that is essentially the vacuum degassing technology which we use at RSP. It is a vacuum degassing technology which is used to remove dissolved gases from the molten steel. I mean, other plants, they might be certifying it as vacuum degassing, but we certify it as RHOB, which is understood. This is a technical and accepted term, RHOB. So, ये जो customers हमसे लेते हैं, जैसे for example, if I remember correctly, there was a query from BHEL also one time कि vacuum degassing is missing in the TCs, but RHOB was mentioned. So in that case, the customer को ये थोड़ा बताना पड़ेगा कि ये RH technology है जिससे कि degassing किया जाता है. So ये हो जाना चाहिए, should not be a problem. Then sir, steel killing mode, इस पे भी थोड़ा कभी-कभी
OB stands for in RHOB, oxygen blowing.
Oxygen blowing, sir. Oxygen blowing, sir.
This portion of OB is not done in RSP. We are using only for degassing only.
Yes, yes. Fully degassing mode, sir. Sir, then we are going for killing. In killing, there are some observations by some customers and TCs. We have not mentioned it is fully killed. The steel has to be fully killed. Any steel which is produced at RSP, it is fully killed. There are three types of steels. One is a rimming steel, one is semi-killed steel, one is fully killed steel. We only produce fully killed steel either by aluminum silicon killing or maybe aluminum killing, pure aluminum killing, and that is mentioned in the TC itself. जो मैंने notation दिया है ALSIK, which means fully killed. So ये थोड़ा सा communicate कर देने से the customer will also be clear, and if needed we can also give a mail कि this is corresponding to fully killing. So it should be communicated. ये हो जाना चाहिए. इसमें ज़्यादा problem नहीं है.
Sir, is it not feasible this thing on the TC that it is fully killed?
Yes, yes.
We are mentioning SIALK. So
Yeah,
can it be
like
written
in
that
Bilai,
it is fully killed?
yes, sir, exactly. I am also saying the same thing what Abhishek is saying. In Bilai plant TCs, on the topmost corner, it will be mentioned killing fully killed steel. And they will mention below whether it is aluminum killed or silicon aluminum killed or only silicon killed. They will specify separately. Can we not have the same thing in RSP TCs also?
Okay, we'll check it out.
Okay, sir. Point taken, sir.
There are actually so many abbreviations, so many things they have to incorporate in that TC. So that is why sometimes it becomes difficult because character limitation is there. So we'll look into that. If it is possible, we'll definitely do that.
So we'll take it up with our CNIT team and try to modify the TCs, sir, the structure of the TCs. Point taken, sir.
Sir.
Okay. Thank you. Sir, then after that, this is a basic slide regarding what are properties which we assess in our steel. One is the physical properties, one are mechanical, and some are chemical properties. In physical properties, as we discussed till now, that we focus on surface quality, finish, dimension tolerances, surface flatness, etc. Then we'll quickly move on to the mechanical part. In mechanical properties, there are basically 6 properties which we try to assess. One is strength, toughness, ductility and formability. One is the DBTT, ductile to brittle transition temperature in case of API grade steels and other specialty steels. One is a resistance to lamellar tearing, and the last is hardness. So these are, I have just jotted down some of the tests which we perform to get this kind of assessment. This Z test requirement is mostly for thicker plates, because there is an issue when they are used in welded joints. If there is some laminations in between them, then in due course of wear and tear or load bearing, it might laminate and it might fail. So we do a tensile testing on the thickness direction to see whether there is appropriate reduction in area or not. So I've just given few slides on the testing just for the observation of the audience. This is a peculiar tensile graph, stress strain graph. We're having YS, UTS and the fracture. When we see the surface, these are actual tested samples at test house. Sir, we are having a cup and cone structure for brittle fracture, ductile fracture, and we are having instantaneous fracture for brittleness. Then we have a Chapi impact test. Chapi impact test is done to assess the toughness of the material. Again, it's a very scattered test. That is why the standard mandates us to do 3 tests and take an average out of them, because we are testing a very small piece of a very huge plate. The sample is just 10 cross 10 cross 55 mm. So it's a very small piece. So we do a average out of 3. Then this is ductile to brittle temperature graph. The blue line which I am seeing, that is the change in impact energy as we are decreasing temperature. The point where it falls to the left is the brittle area, to the right is the ductile area. Ideally, we should use our material on the ductile side. So we find out the temperature, the serviceability temperature beyond which if the material is used, it is prone to failure. That is a DBTT. It is essential for applications where the pipeline or maybe the structure is facing very cold and harsh temperatures, wherein the material also might enter into the brittle region. So in API specifically, we have got this ITP and MPS. We are going to make the DBTT curve. We are going to test the sample at -80 as well, -60, -40, and this curve will be plotted. This is a drop weight tear test. It is specifically used for API 5L PSL2 grade material, plates and coils. In Charpy testing, we take a sub-size specimen. We take a 10 cross 55 mm sample, maybe from a 50 mm plate. So it is not representative of the entire thickness. But in a drop weight tear test, we take the thickness as it is. We take the entire thickness of the plate. This is a sample dimension of the screen. On the right hand side, you can see the sample which has been fractured. It is a qualitative test mostly. We try to assess the surface of the crack, how the crack looks, whether how much brittleness is there, how much ductile area is there. Did the material fail in a shear way, like a ductile way, or the material broke in a brittle way at different temperatures, starting from room temperature 0, -20, -40, and so on and so forth. So this is a requirement specifically of API 5L, PSL2, not even PSL1, PSL2. Drop weight tear test. It's a type of impact test. Now there are hardness tests. Perennial hardness is there where you use a spherical indenter. This is a formula through which we calculate this. We also do Vickers hardness. Vickers hardness may the indenter changes. The 3 types of hardness, Vickers, Perennial, and Rockwell, they are interchangeable. The values can be changed from one to other by looking at some charts. The indenter is different in all those 3s. There is this Rockwell hardness as well. We do here. Brinell and Vickers we do, right? So lastly, we come to the chemical analysis part. In chemical analysis, we assess three areas: the chemistry, the segregation in slabs, the inclusion in the product. The chemistry we assess through optical emission spectrometer by giving a spark emission spectroscopy. And in slabs, just after casting, the centerline segregation is estimated by doing macro etching. Earlier, sulfur print was being done, but that practice has been stopped. That is not allowed. No one is doing it. It's very dangerous and hazardous. So we have moved on to macro etching. And finally, when the plate is rolled, this segregation line will try to change its position, and it might even collapse. It might even scatter. So in the product stage also, we do an inclusion rating, thick and thin series of oxide, sulfide, aluminate, silicates, and we try to assess how much the inclusion content is present in the steel. The cleaner the steel, the better are the properties. We always aim for a clean steel. In that direction, we have implemented a couple of stages. CASI injection has been done, calcium silicide wire injection has been done to modify the inclusion shape. Usually, what are the inclusions to be talked about? Inclusions are any foreign material, non-metallic material, slag ho gaya, kuch bhi ho gaya. Let us say sand for that reason. It is an inclusion which is present in the melt. Now, when the solidification will happen, this inclusion will just be like a foreign material inside the entire block. There will be no proper fusion, and when there will be load applied, there's every possibility that there will be a crack in that inclusion region. Usually, the inclusions, for example, aluminum oxide or maybe some other stringers, they're pointed in nature, they're irregular in shape. Whenever there is an inclusion which is irregular in shape, it is a potential site for stress raiser. It acts as a nucleation site. वहीं से material टूटना चालू होगा, वहीं से crack generate होना चालू होगा. So what I try to do is I try to modify the shape of the inclusion to a spherical nature. We add some calcium silicide, it forms a compound, वो उसको circular shape देता है, it floats up. जैसे circular shape होगा, buoyancy बढ़ जाता है, ऊपर आ जाता है, ऊपर आने के बाद we remove it, so that inclusion is removed. So that practice we have incorporated here, especially for HSM2 also, because HSM2 में we go for very narrow gauge, very thin gauges, and when we go for thin gauges, there are laminations. If there are any laminations during the course of bending or during the course of use, there is chances it will crack, it will break. That possibility is there. So these were the product features, I'll say, the product attributes which we look in a product, in a steel product, in general, physical, mechanical, and chemical, and try to ensure that this conform to the relevant standards. After this, we'll talk something about the unique selling points of RSP products. As such, I have tried to put down some of the points. We can have a discussion. If you have some more points also, sir, you can apprise me. I'll also learn in this process. I have put some points. For example, the first point I'm trying to point out is
Giri,
we're having an in-house.
excuse me, Giri, there is one question from Rohit Huda from BSO Hyderabad. Why
Yes, please, ma'am.
he says why aluminium killing process is costlier than silicon killed and benefits of both types of killing methods. So if you could just throw some light on this. Why aluminium killing is costlier than silicon killing?
Because of the deoxidation practice. Basically, we are using silico-manganese for deoxidation here, and for aluminium killing, we are using aluminium as such. So the price of silicon and aluminium is a difference. So because of that difference, that cost is a difference.
So aluminium killing is costlier
Than the silicon killing.
Aluminium is very costly material.
Okay.
And also the
But
sequence
anyway,
of addition is also different, sir.
Is there any benefit of doing aluminium killing, even though it's costly?
Yeah,
why do we do it?
obviously, the aluminium killing is beneficial for us in the sense that aluminium, if you do aluminium killing, then your desulfurization will be better. Desulfurization will be better, so you will landed up with low sulfur in the state.
Okay, so thank you, sir. I hope, Rohit, that answers your question. Okay.
Thank you.
Giri,
Also
can
better with aluminium. Aluminium also promotes the fine grain metal structure. So this benefit is always with aluminium metal.
Okay, I understood. Thank you, sir.
Sir, one more. Sir, excuse me, sir.
Sir.
हाँ रोहित बोलो.
हाँ सर, ये बोल रहे थे सर, कास्टर का भी कुछ इशू रहता है क्या सर? मेरा आईएसपी में जैसे हम लोग को बोला जाता है, कास्टर में भी ज्यादा रिप्लेस करना पड़ता है उसको, एल्यूमिनियम लाइनिंग को, उसको
नहीं, एक्चुअली क्या है,
आईएसपी ज्यादा उसमें रहता है सर, डैमेज होता है, जल्दी रिप्लेस करना पड़ता है. मेरे को ये रीजन बताया.
Actually, let me answer your question. For aluminium killing steel, का एक इशू ये है कि alumina formations होता है during casting. Whenever solidifies, its alumina formation is there. So for the casting of billets or blooms, this casting may, in fact, billet casting is a free nozzle flowing. So their nozzle gets choked very quickly if your alumina is generated. So इसीलिए इसको में in fact वो लोग aluminium killing नहीं करते हैं for the billet casters. अगर करना है billet casters, so they have to go for powder casting. So वो लोग generally bloom में aluminium casting करते हैं, but इसमें नहीं करते.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Patwari, sir. You can proceed. Giri, you can proceed.
Okay, ma'am. So for RSP products which we are supplying, one of our advantages is that we are having an in-house enable accredited testing lab. We got our accreditation in the month of February this year. So we are accredited to ISO IEC 17025 by NABL. And we also conform to the standard practices which have been mandated by the specifications. So there should not be any doubt on the minds of the customers, because earlier what I understood was customer used to take material from us, they used to test it in an NABL certified lab, and then they used to give it to the end users. Right now we are doing a testing in the NABL lab itself. So there should not be any requirement of going for testing
AG
from their end.
Prabhu ji, kindly mute yourself. AG Prabhu, kindly mute yourself. Carry on.
So we are having a scope for mechanical and chemical testing as of now. We'll be enlarging the scope in days to come. So जो भी minimum requirements होते हैं हमारे हर product में जो जाता है, mechanical test होता है, chemical test होता है, वो NABL के guidelines के हिसाब से होता है. So that is sufficing most of the requirement of our customers. हमारे किसी और क्या करना नहीं चाहिए. So this is one of our advantages I can say. Another advantage I will say is we supply a very wide set of offerings for different applications. We are having state-of-the-art NPM, we are having an HSM2 which is state-of-the-art, and other products also like pipes, sheets. So different grades of different size, dimensions, different product forms we are giving. So if a customer is requiring any different size or any different grades, for that reason, it can directly come into one window. Only thing is we need to assess the requirements, we need to design the process. Maybe the process is not there at present, we can design it, it is possible for us. So that conviction we have with us, because we are having good mills, we are having a good as well, we are having a great
AG Prabhu ji, please mute yourself.
Then we are having a CE marking certification for PM plates from NPM. We have certification from 2016 onwards. We have supplied a lot of material to the European market. We are getting satisfactory response from them. Now we are trying to enlarge our scope also to include some more grades and some thicknesses as well. So this certification will help us to sell material in the domestic market also. I must reiterate this point, the third which I mentioned. CE mark plates are not only meant for market, they are also meant for domestic market, because there are some end users. Specifically, I'll take some names: Apollo pipes or some other Ratnagar pipes. They make pipes which are sent to the European market by using plates. Right now, what I've understood from some of the auditors, they take IS grade plates, they make EN grade pipes, then reassess and certify it as CE and give it. We can readily provide them CE marked plates. We can readily give them CE marked coils. They can directly take our coils, they can directly take our pipes, plates, and make pipes and give it to the European market. So that will be advantageous for us also by using this marking license, and for them also. They need not reassess twice or thrice. It will save them the cost and trouble. So this can be plus point from our side. One customer offering we are giving, which is possible. So I would request everyone, sir, kindly explore this possibility that if it is there in the market, let us not wait for export orders. Let us not wait for export customers. We can start giving our products to the domestic customers as well. Then there is this CE marking for HR coils. We did it last year. We are having an audit on 25th of this month. So we have got an order. It is in the finalization stage as well. So we'll be producing HR coils and plate from HSM2. There's a huge market. We'll try to tap into that, and we create a niche for us. Then there is API certification for HR coils for HSM2 and PM plates. We are having X70 PSL2 grades. So we can manufacture anything below that. And right now, as Mukesh sir is also aware, we are processing few orders of API of X52, X46 and X70 from both plate mill as well as HSM2. And we expect that in days to come, we'll be able to supply more. We have already supplied a 6,000 ton order for Messrs. Wellspun in 2019-21, successfully done it with a very lean chemistry, which is actually not, it's an achievement for us, we'll say, we faced a lot of trouble, we faced a lot of issues, but ultimately with our team, with our effort, with our help and support from various departments, we were able to optimize the chemistry in such a way that we could achieve the properties which with a very lean chemistry. That was an achievement for us, sir. And now I'll speak on some of our recent supplies and success stories and cases which we have accomplished recently, so that we can look into them and we can discuss if needed. Recently, as I told earlier also, we have optimized the alloy design. We have went to a single microalloy route to achieve sub-zero Charpy impact toughness. In fact, we are achieving very good values. Earlier, we were achieving Charpy values, for example, 40, 50 joules around. But right now we have shot it up to 180, 200, even I think 150 is a normal value which we are getting these days. So that is a big achievement for the team, because we have cut down one microalloy which is niobium, there are two benefits here. By cutting down niobium, we are rolling at a higher temperature. So my yield also increases, my time taken for rolling also decreased, and soaking time in the furnace also decreased. So I am getting a benefit for faster rolling. More rate of rolling is done. Second benefit I am getting is direct cost. My niobium is cut down, so I am using less amount of microalloys. So the production cost is also decreased. So overall, it's a win-win case for us, for the customer, for the company. As a quality in charge or as a production in charge, it is good for the mills because they have increased their productivity. As a plant, it is good for us that we are having financial savings. For the customer also, we are having product quality improvement, the Charpy value improvement. So this is one of our success stories. Now we are successfully supplying specialty steel for critical defense projects. This is something which we are doing on a regular basis. Of lately, we are doing on a regular basis, and we expect more orders to come since the Minister of Defense has given a lot of clearance for new projects of shipbuilding and marine vessels. So we are hoping that more orders will come. It's a very specialty grade steel, good NSR, but a lot of effort is given. And we have stabilized to some extent. There are very less number of failures these days, and we are in a tune to supply these orders. I must point out here the topmost person, the topmost defense person who is associated with this project. He has acknowledged SAIL RSP's role in the continuation of all the projects, of all the Indian Navy projects during the Russia-Ukraine geopolitical crisis. Earlier, a lot of steel was imported from Russia and foreign parties for use for manufacture of all these vessels. But since RSP and our sister plant, they are producing DMR grade steel in-house in India. These projects were going smoothly without any disruption, without any problems, no dependency on outside parties. It was a totally Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. We supported it wholeheartedly. The appreciation has come from the highest levels. So this is one of our major achievements which we take pride as a company, as a team. So we have done this. Next, we have also supplied specialty steel for penstock applications for the Bias Valley Power Corporation Limited project. This grade of steel, ASTM 517 grade F, we had not supplied earlier to this. It was mostly imported, what I heard. So we have made this steel in the first attempt itself at SPP, through NPM SPP route from the heat treated route, and we were able to supply it completely to the party, and the party has also taken and they have given good feedback. So the values are also very good. The properties which we achieved are also very promising, and we expect when the future orders for these particular grades will come, I think class 2 one order has come, 5,000 class 2. So we'll be able to cater to those also based on this experience. So all these kind of success cases or stories or supplies which you did are a lesson for us, a learning for us for the days to come, to improve more and more, to reduce the production cost, to improve the customer satisfaction. So we try to learn every day from these. So we take your help also, your feedback also, sir, your guidance also, the customers' expectations. So this has helped us in a lot of way. So this was all from my side, sir. Thank you for listening to me patiently and engaging with me. Sir, if there is any queries or any question I can help you out with, sir is here with me, Patwari sir is here. I request you to please put forward your queries and questions. We'll try our best to answer them, sir. Thank you, sir.
Giri, in the meantime, you can unshare your presentation, please.
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
See, there are a few questions, but I guess, we have another session planned. So I think we'll end it here. Thank you, Krishna Giriji, for a very enriching session.
Madam, just a minute. Just a minute. Before we end this session,
yes, sir.
Patwari Saab, I take this opportunity to first of all congratulate you for success stories. You and our team has made a very good efforts in all the directions and making the products as per the industry requirement. Now I have two submissions to you. We have injected, you and me, we have injected on occasions for the certification of shipbuilding plates like DND gate and all that. And I hope you are working on that first. Secondly, API 2H grade 50. This is a plate which is used for offshore sectors and ONGC in coming in a very big way. I had interacted with you on this also. So please go for the certification of this grade and let's try to part of growth story of Indian industry in oil and gas sector. Thank you, Professor, for your wonderful presentation. Thank you.
Noted. Good suggestion, Mukesh sir. Thank you. Yesterday when Giri shared his presentation, मेरे थोड़ा सा मेरे सर के ऊपर से चला गया था. Then I told him that see, a lot of the product executives are not engineers, and most of us are not from metallurgy background also, even if we are engineers. Then he has tweaked it and made it simple, and I also got to learn a lot today. Thank you, Giri, for making it simple and easy to understand. I'm so sorry.
Thank you for your input.
I'm so sorry. We will not be able to take many questions now because we have another session planned. If we delay this, then आप लोग सब लोगों का lunch भी छूट जाएगा. So what I suggest is अभी 12:07 हुआ है. We take a 10-minute break. We come here at 12:20. Will that be okay? And then we start with our next session. Patwari sir, thank you so much. It was very kind of you to join. For dear participants, we are taking a short break. Abhi almost 12 minutes ka hai. We'll join at 12:20 sharp. We already have got delayed in the morning by 20 minutes. We need to catch up. So hum log 12:20 pe we'll join for our second session. That will be by R.S. Sharma ji, GM Operations, New Plate Mill RSP on rolling challenges and quality issues. So wahan par I think it will be very interactive because people will have a lot of quality issues to discuss. Giri ji or Patwari ji, thank you. We would like if you wish, you can continue to keep joining the session for the next session also. If you want, you can stay with us, sir. So let us break and then we join back at 12:20. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Good.
Lot of other people I know, but I don't know. Taking names one by one isn't good. But it's good to see good attendance. I'm happy to see that a lot of people are connected, and especially this. Actually, we wanted to have it in the presence of ED Marketing, sir, but then somehow he's gone abroad, so we couldn't do it that way. So we had to plan it on short notice. So what we should move on to the next session, that is rolling challenges and quality issues. In this session, we will try not to take much questions because anyway, after this session, we have another session on customer feedback, market scenario, and customer demand. So jitne questions honge, we can cover it at that time. And we will let sir finish with his presentation first. So the faculty for this session on rolling challenges and quality issues is R.S. Sharma, sir. Sir is GM New Plate Mill RSP and head of operations. Qualification of sir is that he is BE Metallurgy from erstwhile REC Durgapur, and he joined SAIL as MTT in 1993 and got posted in RSP. From 1993 to 2003, Sir worked in RMHP. At that time, it was called OBVP. And from 2003 to 2004, sir worked as technical advisor to CGM Services. उस समय, of course, he was called GM Services. He got posted in plate mill in 2004 and worked there till 2010 in different capacities as shipping in charge, senior shift in charge, mill area in charge, and planning in charge, where sir learned the nuances of plate rolling and planning function. He got selected as one of the core team members for ERP implementation in RSP from 2010 to 2013 and actively contributed to its successful implementation. Mostly he concentrated on the PP module. From 2015 till date, sir is working in operation section of new plate mill, where sir has contributed during its commissioning and subsequent stabilization. Sir is a certified lead auditor of ISO 14001, 2005 and ISO 18001, 2007. Sir has undergone foreign training and seminar thrice, where he got a chance to visit Copenhagen in Denmark, Putrio, Italy, and Jakarta, Indonesia. Presently, he is heading the operation section of new plate mill. So over to you, sir. You are there, sir, Sharma sir.
Yes. Good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon, sir. आपको थोड़ा लेट हो गया. I'm so sorry. डिले हो गया. I mean, sir, आप आपका presentation अगर share कर लीजिए, then we can start.
Okay.
As I just wanted to keep the participants informed. Let sir finish with his presentation, and during the next session, which is interactive, sir will take up questions.
Okay.
आप भी शायद सर ये किसी ने सजेस्ट किया था अगर F5 शायद प्रेस कीजिएगा तो वो प्रेजेंटेशन मोड में आ जाएगा.
अच्छा.
या तो फिर आपको प्रेजेंटेशन मोड में लाकर तभी एक बार F5
इसको
से
नीचे से ना नीचे बॉटम में स्विच पे क्लिक कीजिए, पूरा आ जाएगा, उसमें आ जाएगा. यहाँ बॉटम में होता है, यहाँ पे नीचे में
बॉटम में होता है सर नीचे में. हाँ, उसको मतलब प्रेजेंटेशन
अभी शेयर हुआ क्या मैडम?
शेयर तो हुआ है सर, लेकिन प्रेजेंटेशन मोड में नहीं है. सो दैट इज व्हाट
स्लाइड शो में लेकर आना है. स्लाइड शो में लेकर आना है
स्लाइड शो में ले जाइए. तो या तो आप नीचे में जो आइकॉन रहता है स्लाइड शो का, उसमें आप क्लिक कर लीजिए एकदम बॉटम राइट साइड में. हाँ, द थर्ड आइकॉन.
अभी क्लिक किए. अभी आ रहा है क्या मैडम? अभी स्लाइड शो क्लिक किए
सर. हम हाँ, मे बी आप ना अनशेयर कर दीजिए, स्लाइड शो में ला करके तब शेयर कीजिए प्रोबेबली.
ओके ओके.
एक बार वैसे ट्राई कर लीजिए.
ठीक.
अदरवाइज आई थिंक somebody suggested in the chat कि आप F5 भी करते थे तो हो जाता. लेट अस सी.
कर रहे हैं मैडम.
श्योर सर, वी आर वेटिंग.
आज सोनू नहीं है क्या आपके पास? शर्मा साहब.
सोनू है, काम में है.
तो उससे बोला वो कर दिया 1 मिनट के अंदर. वो तो बच्चा है.
But this is such a good opportunity for all of us to interact with sir. There will be so many questions. But I will request कि एक बार सर का थोड़ा presentation हो जाने देते हैं, where he will just tell us about some rolling challenges and quality issues of NPM, and then we proceed with our questions.
अभी देखिए तो शेयर कर रहे हैं, आ रहा है कि नहीं बताइएगा।
कीजिए।
इंटायर स्क्रीन में क्या नहीं, इसमें तो कुछ चल रहा है। हाँ मैडम देखिए अभी
हाँ सर ठीक है,
अभी ठीक है तो
विजिबल सर। हाँ जी ठीक है सर, यू कैन प्रोसीड।
नेक्स्ट वन अच्छा हम स्लाइड चेंज करिए, नेक्स्ट स्लाइड चेंज हुआ था अभी
तो नहीं हुआ सर? हाँ हुआ, यस यस हो गया।
हुआ ना?
हाँ जी हो गया।
ओके ठीक है,
हो गया सर, ठीक है सर।
okay
You can start.
madam has introduced me, so I'm RS Sharma, GM NPM, head of operations, working in new plate mill for last 10 years. So I will be presenting about the new plate mill production process and what are the plate products different quality issues and how we tackle here. What are the new technologies which have been incorporated in our new plate mill, that I will be showing in a nutshell. So my presentation will be in a brief, and whatever questions will be there, we will address at the end of the presentation. So my presentation roadmap is, I will be discussing about features of new plate mill at RSP, then what are the rolling challenges, and what are the quality issues we are facing, and how we are addressing it, and we are planning to address it. This is a new plate mill layout. As you can see, there is a furnace, then after that there is a primary descaler. After heating in the furnace, the slabs are descaled in primary descaler at 220 bar, very high water pressure, so that all the scales which are generated in the slab during residence in reheating furnace for almost 3 hours, more than 3 hours, those are removed. Because if they are left as such and then rolling is continued, these scales will be rolled in the parent body, and that will result in rolled in scale. So there is a very critical function, primary descaler must be carried out before rolling starts, and in the finishing mill the actual rolling takes place. So based on the plate thickness, grade, temperature, size, and TDC requirement, number of passes are calculated as per the setup, mathematical modeling and setup. Then as per setup, rolling is carried out. So during rolling also, number of descaling, secondary descaling is done, so that whatever scales are generated during rolling, that is also removed, so that those are also not rolled. That secondary and tertiary scales are generated during rolling also. After rolling is finished, then we have accelerated cooling. This is basically to achieve the TMCP properties. Like in a high tensile grades, for achieving the property, we carry out TMR rolling, thermomechanical rolling. Then even for higher grade, we need to have accelerated cooling, so that we achieve the right properties with toughness and weldability. So in accelerated cooling, we apply regulated water from top and bottom, which achieve the plate final temperature after AC, and that achieves the mechanical property and metallurgical property. This is a very critical functionality in NPM, and which helps us in achieving the properties of the plates which are having low microalloy, because these days microalloys are very costly, so cost of production increases. So by properly managing the alloy chemistry, we are achieving the property with use of ACC. So to that extent, ACC is a critical function. Then for any plate mill, HPL is a must. HPL is basically hot plate leveler. So whatever rolling has been carried out and the plates are subjected to ACC, plates do have some waviness. And to remove those waviness, we are having hot plate leveler. So to remove those waviness, after HPL, then plates are cooled in cooling beds. Then after cooling bed, that is inspection bed, where the inspectors inspect the plates dimensionally and surface conditions. After inspection, plate is taken to the finishing line, that is searing line and other functionalities. We have a PSG, that is plate shape gauge. to map the plate as per the roll plan. So what we planned and what we achieved. So that is the mapping, and based on those mapping, the plates are seared. After then, there is online UST machine, testing machine. So in NPM, we are getting orders of higher grade which require UT like boilers. So for carrying out the UT test, we are having online UT test from 6 mm to 50 mm thickness. Presently, our finishing line is being operated up to 40 mm due to certain issues in our DS. So all other plates more than 40 mm, we are doing manual UT and manual flame cutting. So in this finishing line, we are currently carrying out processing of 40 mm and below plates. After UT, then we have DSTS, that is basically a trimming facility. Edge condition, when we give trim, then this DSTS is the machine which carries out side trimming, double side trimmings here, DSTS. After double side trimmings here, plates are taken to DS, that is dividing. Here plate gets the final shape, which is to be dispatched. So as per order length, plates are seared as 12 meter, 12.5 meter, or 10 meter, 8 meter, whatever order length is there, or any customized length also. We have a laser measurement system. So to that extent, any length we can cut here. And after that, dimension gauge is just for cross-checking the dimensions, plate dimensions we have been cut at DS and DSTS. Then after that, we are having online machine. Some of markings. One is surface marking, where all the details are provided through paint or pigment. Then edge marking, where we are giving size, grade. Recently, we have started giving grade, heat number, and then we are having punch marking. So in one of the machines, we are having two online marking machines. In punch marking machine, we are having laser punching machine, which is only one in entire India. In any of the plate mill, we do not have this laser punch marking machine. It's a new technology which has been used in plate marking. Earlier, we used to have that punch marking. That is machine is still available. So we are having two marking machine. One new. In this new marking machine, we have also got the provision or facility of providing double marking at two places in the same plate, which is the requirement in some of the boiler plates. And we are able to do that. Also, we are having facility for providing some customized logo like CE marking, IBR, or SAIL. So those we are also able to give in this new marking machine. Or in old marking machine, we didn't have these facilities. We have to do in manually. Then after that, there is piler. Whatever the plates are cut, they're piled as per their size and TDCs and shifted to shipping bay. And then one CPL is there. This is basically offline leveler. This is a cold plate leveler. Any undulations created after HPL, maybe bending, hitting, or falling, or after HPL, some plates do bend high strength HT like 450 BR and above. These plates do bend after HPL also. So those plates are corrected in CPL. So these are in flow sheet nut set. Our capacity is 0.92 million ton. And into this extent, we have achieved capacity in last 2 years, like 21-22 and 23-24. These 2 years, we have achieved our capacity, and we plan to go even further. And these are all input slab dimensions. Thickness is 210 to 300, width is 1200 to 2400, and length 2500 to 4100 mm. And maximum slab weight is 23.2 tons. And output plate dimension, this is 6 to 100 mm. And then width is 1600 to 4300, and length is 7 meter to 15 meters.
What is
Finished length is
sir, what is the maximum thickness, width, and length plant has given so far?
That
what is the maximum thickness, width, and length plant has tried so far? Plant has tried so far. It's at RSP.
Plant has done 100 mm, even more than 100 mm.
Okay, that is the thickness.
But in that plate, we have not gone 4 meters. To that extent, we cannot mix and match. Then in thickness, we have gone 120, 140 also we have done.
Okay.
But in that plate, we have not gone up to 4 meter.
Correct. That is.
But in some of the plates, other lower thickness, we have gone up to 4 meter.
Okay. Width.
And in length, we have supplied up to 15 meter also. The finished length we have supplied.
Okay.
So all the extremes ends we have supplied, but not in the same plate.
Okay.
So this was our NPM layout in a nutshell.
Shamasa, there is a brief question before you proceed further. You know,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Our plate mill can produce plate up to 42 meter long, mother plate. Okay.
Yes,
and now
yes, right.
There's a typical requirement in oil and gas sector to have plates 17 or 18 meters long because there's some values are not allowed somewhere in between. Okay.
Yes,
and our competitor JSPL is supplying the plate 17 meter long also. I injected with you if you remember. So
Yes,
our fishing strength limitation 15 meters. Is it possible to stretch it to 17, 18 meters by some small modification? Is it possible or no?
Not at present, because our finished length is maximum 15 meter. Accordingly, cranes and crane girders and columns have been designed like that. So for doing that, whatever you have told, 17 meters, for that many more changes are required to be done in the finishing line to incorporate 17 meter long finished plates.
Even the logic we were seeing.
Yeah, all the software logics are also mapped according to 15 meters. Because tracking has created based on 15 meters. So to take care of 17 meters, many things have to be done to process that plate. So presently, no.
Thank you, Shahzad. Thank you, Shahzad. Thank you.
Okay. Next is our the first unit, as I told, is a reheating furnace. This mill is our 4.3 meter wide single stand mill with rated 1 million ton slab. That means 0.92 million ton plate with 92% yield. And the mill was commissioned in October 2016. Though the operation started in June 2014 with limited facility, we could only commission in October 2016. Since then, continuous ramping up production has taken place, and last 2 financial years we have achieved our crossed our capacity also. This is our last 4 years performance with respect to total production and percentage special steel. In 2020-21, we produced 8,02,641. That was the era of COVID. So there was a less production because of input raw material issues. And that time we achieved a special steel 55.68. In 2021-22, we crossed our APP and capacity utilization. Capacity utilization is 9,20,000. We achieved 9,30,000. With a special steel 76.8. That is the highest till now. And the major contributor to this was boiler quality grades. And most of them were taken by mega infrastructures. So that was the major reason why we crossed 76, we achieved 76. Because after that 2 years, we have not achieved that figure because orders are not there from mega to that extent in boiler grade. And then 22-23, again, there was a dip in production because of series of breakdowns, major breakdowns. 2-3 breakdowns were there that limited our production. But immediately after that, in 23-24, we bounced back and again crossed our APP and crossed the best figures till now, 9,30,566, and special steel was 68%. And in 23-24, major grades which we supplied is grade 2, grade 3, that is boiler is 45,000. We can see boiler is 45,000 only. Earlier used to cross more than 1 lakh in a year. In 21-22, cross that figure. DSQ 4,500, IS 2041 12,000, then 350 BR B0 and C 2,67,000, 450 17,000, and 450 BR copper 1,900. Then export 64,000. And since these facilities, what I seen, quality has already elaborated. I'm skipping these facilities. RHOB they have discussed in details. and benefit of RHP also. So I'm coming straight to our NPM facilities. After the furnace, as I told you, there is a high pressure descaling pump having 220 bar for removing the thickest of scales. Then our mill is having a roll force of 9,000 tons, equivalent to 90,000 kilonewton. This is the major USP of this mill. So whatever we are getting the slabs, we roll with this force, and the reduction takes place right up to the center line. So there is a complete reduction, and voids and porosity are removed by this, and ensuring the internal soundness of the plates. So earlier we used to give plates without UST, and those were passing in UST also. There was the contribution of mill basically. Then in the mill also we have HAGC for controlling the thickness. Hydraulic automatic gauge control. This is a vital function, achieves the and ensures the thickness across the plate width and length. In the next slides, I will talk about the thickness variations which mill can provide. Then this mill has 3 technologies which control the plate plate shape, that is roll bending, roll shifting, and PVR. I will discuss in detail about this. Then we are rolling plates with normalized roll up to 63 mm. We are getting the property. Since NPM does not have furnace normalizing facility, with limited facility available in SPP with limited dimensions. So what we are doing is we are rolling with normalized rolling, and that is accepted as per standard, and also customers are accepting. So this has helped us in servicing the normalized plate up to 63 mm. And the mill is equipped with TMCP, the thermomechanical control process, that is TMR rolling with combination of ACC. Then after ACC, there is a hot plate leveler to address any undulations of the plate which are generated during plate rolling. As I told you, there are 2 online plate marking machines, and there is a online plate thickness measurement and online UST machines. Our furnaces are supplied by Tenova Italy with a hourly capacity of 225 tons per hour. There is a 2-row charging digital control walking beam furnace. Our length is 55 meters, width is 9 meters. The fuel used in mixed gas. Minimum retention time is 3 hours, but basically what we see is average retention is 3.5 hours to 4 hours in NPM. Recently, with increase in production and productivity, the retention time has reduced to 3 hours to 3.5 hours. This has helped us in achieving the production productivity and reduction in scale. And we are also maintaining a very low discharge temperature at 1170 and 1220, which helps in achieving the mechanical property or material property of the plate by finishing the plates at a very low FRT, finish rolling temperature. So we keep the discharge temperature of the furnace by design at a low temperature around 1200 1220 degrees centigrade. Higher we keep it, it will be very difficult to achieve the properties at the end of the rolling facilities. These are basically mill stand details. I'll not discuss much details because I have already told roll force is 90 meganewton and mill stage 2.67. But these are the roll dimensions, work roll and back roll, and the motor capacities are there. And this is the tolerances, thickness tolerance, which you might be interested in knowing what our mill is capable of. So what mill is designed to achieve these thickness tolerances is graded thickness group wise 6 to 8 mm. It is plus minus 0.22. So if we are rolling 8 mm say, so our thickness variation will be 0.44 in a plate. When if 8 mm is given, then we will be achieving 7.78 to 8.22. That is the range it will be operate. So within that band, mill will be able to supply plates. Accordingly for other thickness also. So higher the thickness, the range increases. And then somebody may ask you, then what will be the maximum thickness difference that this mill can supply within a plate? Because the earlier the top table was for a thickness range. 8 mm, what is the range? But for in a plate, the maximum thickness range is again graded as thickness group wise, and it is mentioned as 0.25 for 8 mm, 6 to 8, 8 to 15, 0.27, 15 to 25, 0.30, 25 to 40, 0.33, and 40 to 80, 0.37, 80 to 100, 0.40. The meal capability period in 10 years, we are facing some difficulty in achieving this thickness tolerance. Still, we are achieving around 4.4 mm, plus minus 0.4 mm in thinner gauges. That we are able to achieve, and we are supplying the orders according to that. This is the descaling process in of the reheating slab. Nozzles are placed from top and bottom, and they are descaled at a particular angle, attack angle, and height with a pressure of 220 bar. And this removes the scales. Accelerated cooling already discussed. It is again we are having headers at the top and the bottom to cool plates equally. The lamellar plate cooling system is applied with a level 2 model. So what we feed is we know input temperature, plate input temperature. What is our AM output temperature we feed, and what is the cooling rate. Accordingly, level 2 model defines the setup, AC setup, and cooling is carried out.
Sir, you are open to questions now?
Yes. My presentation is over. Any questions from
Sir, there will be many
participants?
questions. Not one, I'm sure, people would like. What I suggest is that since we are close to 1 o'clock, we will quickly move on to the next session. For your session, sir, it was very impressive.
आंसर कर दें मैडम, आंसर कर दें.
इसको अनशेयर कर दीजिए सर. हाँ. Thank you, Sharma sir, for such an enriching and interesting session. इतना ज्ञान के बाद all our product executives will be product pandits now. उनको काफी ज्ञान हो के बारे में. So let us now move to our next segment, which has been suggested to be included by ED Sales and ITD. This is an interactive session on market scenario, customer demand, and customer feedback. यहाँ पे शर्मा जी भी रहेंगे और शर्मा सर से आप क्वेश्चंस पूछ सकते हैं. So I request all our CMO product executives and other executives from CMO to please share their inputs freely. And if you have any questions, to Sharma sir, you can ask. You can unmute yourself and ask your question. एक और रिक्वेस्ट था, अगर सब लोग अपना थोड़ा वीडियो ऑन कर लेते तो मैं एक प्रेस ब्रीफ के लिए फोटोग्राफ क्लिक कर लेती, स्क्रीनशॉट, एक बिकॉज वी हैव टू सेंड इट ऑन टू ट्विटर आल्सो. तो एक बार के लिए, थोड़ी देर के लिए अगर आप लोग वीडियो ऑन कर ले, एंड देन इट बिकम्स गुड आल्सो टू सी हु ऑल आर प्रेजेंट. एक स्क्रीनशॉट में ले लूंगी. सम मोर वीडियो फेसेस प्लीज. कुंतल पटवारी सर, आप हैं क्या कनेक्टेड?
Abhishek, you can interact with the Sharma Saab on the issue of EME segment at Punana. What the issue is facing the plates?
हाँ, yes, that is what I was thinking. जिनके जो भी issues हैं, you can discuss here freely. थोड़े और cameras on कर दीजिए, please, so that ऐसा dark सा ना लगे. I just want to take one screenshot.
Good afternoon. This is Abhishek Rukania from BSO Pune. Actually,
good afternoon.
Sir, we are regularly procuring materials from NPM for various customers who are EME vendors, basically vendors of EME segment. But the issue which we face is surface defects, basically rolled in scales and pit marks and scratch marks after shot blasting, sir. What we had, what I could understand in various discussion with NPM, it was that this is basically due to descaling, the process of descaling, sir. Can you?
Yes, sir. We are having issues in our descaling system, and accordingly, we have taken certain actions in descaling. We have changed our nozzles to high performance nozzles in the top and bottom both, and we have got encouraging results, and that was given by our IMOP, which in the last supplies were given to IMOP to IMOP EME segment, and then given good feedbacks about that. And further, they have given I think 4 orders to continue this and continuous improvement. So we are taking more actions now. In next action will be to increase the descaling spray length. Presently, we are able to descaling spray for only 10 meters during the rolling process. So what happens after 10-meter long plate, when plates are rolled, scales are generated. So those scales, if not removed during rolling process, and gets embedded in the plate matrix and become rolled in scale. So for that we are taking action. We have called mill supplier, and they are studying it. They will give us a report. Based on that report, we will take further actions. So, but whatever actions we have to take immediately, we have taken, like controlling silicon percentage in slab, controlling oxygen percentage in our furnace, then maintaining the descaling regime in our rolling process, rigorous inspections, and then use of PTOs for bottom surface inspections.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, with this corrective action, will you be able to take some further orders in EME segment? Because some other branches also, some other regions also, they are having a huge requirement in EME segment, but we are not able to. So, are we confident now at this moment to take some more orders?
So yeah, we take, but
Komatsu, the leader in EME segment. You approach Komatsu and some other vendors in Chennai to begin with, because there's large volumes there in Komatsu.
No, we have not. We don't have confidence now at present, because we have only supplied 1 or 2 lots. So total 100% confident we have not. So far we don't have.
So we have got 4 orders from IMO.
Yes, some more trials are required, sir.
Yes. Let us do and supply those plates. Let us get feedbacks where we stand now. Then we can take further orders.
Correct.
It is a continuous journey. We have to improve in the surface condition. That we agree, because the other properties like mechanical and shape, dimension tolerance, these are very good. For
Other are
NPM.
good. They know.
We are missing is surface conditions.
Correct, sir.
Whatever customized dimensions parties are asking, we are supplying. Whatever dimensions we are giving. Only thing we are lacking now, to some extent, is the surface conditions.
एसबी ट्रांसमिशन और एपेक्स ऑटो का भी इशू था, तो उन्होंने काफी माल लेना हमसे बंद कम कर दिया है
जी।
वो एक तो इशू है हार्ड स्केल का, शॉर्ट ब्लास्टिंग के बाद में स्केल जो है निकलता नहीं है, और एक तो और शॉर्ट ब्लास्टिंग के बाद जो स्केल जो निकला उसमें पिटिंग मार्क्स आते हैं ड्यू टू रोल्ड स्केल। तो ये इशू के कारण हमारा ऑप्टेक जो है एपेक्स ऑटो और आरएसबी ट्रांसमिशन से कम हो गया है।
हाँ, उसी के लिए बात कर रहे थे। वाइमअप का जो अभी लास्ट सप्लाई दिए हैं उसमें इम्प्रूवमेंट आया है, दैट दे हैव एक्नॉलेज। तो उसी डायरेक्शन में हम लोग काम करेंगे और इम्प्रूवमेंट आएगा, फिर फर्दर वी कैन एपेक्स एंड वी डू सप्लाई, वी कैन सप्लाई टू एपेक्स एंड एक्स।
मेरा एक रिक्वेस्ट है कि ईएमई सेगमेंट का अपना एक कुछ जो भी टेक केयर करने के लिए स्पेशल स्टेप्स जो लेते हैं, यू मेक ए एसओपी की सेगमेंट को करना, ताकि ये ऐसे दिक्कत ना आए। तो ईएमई सेगमेंट का जो इशू है वो हम टेक केयर कर पाए। तो सब जो प्रोसेस पैरामीटर है एवरेज ऑफ वो नॉर्मल ना होके स्पेशल टेक केयर क्या हम कर सकते हैं उसके लिए, दैट वी हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई। तो एक अपना प्रोसेस पैरामीटर एसओपी कुछ बन जाए प्लांट लेवल पर, ईएमई के लिए हमको क्या क्या करना है, तो ये दिक्कतें हमको आगे से नहीं आएंगी।
had worked out on a TDC's detailed TDC EME segment, वो अभी भी शायद अपने मेरे कंप्यूटर में अवेलेबल होगा, आपके पास होगा। If we can have a relook on, we had finalized the TDC with the help of plan. If you have a relook at that side, it may be a beginning, initial starting point from there.
For taking care of the surface sensitive grades, we have identified our SOPs, we have prepared our SOPs, we are asking particular notation in the sale order that it is a EME segment that must come from customer, that defining that it is a EME requirement. Based on that EME requirement, we are tagging it to the rolling plan. It carries that EME factor in our rolling plan, that anybody who is rolling gets to know that this is a EME segment. Then whatever EME segment rolling process is defined, identified, that rolling process and hitting and rolling process and finishing process are carried out based on that, right from the slab making, in fact. So we have made our SOPs and we are following that. But yeah, many like descaling, we have to improve in descaling part. We are not treating this as just another grade. We have separated it from other grades.
Sir, this is Rachna from BSA Chennai.
नमस्ते
नमस्ते सर सर ये जब EME सेगमेंट का हम लोग ऑर्डर फीड करते हैं तो वी ऑलवेज गिव अ मेल टू प्लांट थ्रू SRM ऑफिस दैट दिस पर्टिकुलर ऑर्डर इज ऑफ EME सेगमेंट और ये कस्टमर है बट ऐसा कुछ फील्ड है सैप में कहीं पे जो आपको दिखता है और जो मुझे भी दिखे जहां पर एंटर कर दो तो वो पता चलेगा कि भाई ये EME सेगमेंट का है बिकॉज देखिए
हमें तो सेल ऑर्डर में दिखता है, एक फील्ड है वहाँ पे हमें दिखने लगा, अगर कस्टमर फीड करते हैं या आपके थ्रू आता है तो हमें दिखता है, बट आप हमारा सेल ऑर्डर
अभी रिसेंटली ये इशू आया था कि हाउ विल प्लांट नो कि ये EME सेगमेंट का ऑर्डर है तो आप पूरा TDC सारे जो केमिकल कंपाउंड सबको एग्जैक्ट डालिए व्हिच इज समटाइम्स इज नॉट पॉसिबल कहीं पे एग्जैक्ट वैल्यूज मिलते नहीं है
गुड आफ्टरनून I am Vindhya Sharma from BSO Faridabad. Rachna ma'am, recently I had also, namaste sir, I had also fed an order for EME segment, and after coordinating with the SRM office, there is a TTC where we fill in the TTCs. There is a field in the end. Yes, there's a field in the end which says PEB. So if you fill in that PEB, they will take care of all the TDCs that are required, like low silicon will be there, surface finish. So all of that will be taken care of. So वो PEB वहाँ पे TDC list में डालने से ना, they will take care of rolling for EME segment specific.
PEB अलग segment है. PEB is
Sir, I understand that. I understand that. But sir, right now we don't have a specific TDC list. So right now we are feeding PEB, but the rolling is being done according to EME segment only. So it's just the nomenclature which is given PEB, but वो rolling EME के हिसाब से ही कर रहे हैं. So I've ordered for tubewell and for JCB, and the plates which came are according to EME segment TDCs.
Vindhya ma'am, this field is in additional data B, reference inquiry number.
No ma'am, no. When we feed the order, the material code, after that we put in the TDCs. So where we put trimmed, etc. That's where in the end, towards the end, there's a TDC called PEB. So it is for EME segment right now, but plant and we have come to an understanding that the rolling will be done for EME.
Okay. So sir, if we can have EME segment also added there, it will be better.
अपने IT से लेना पड़ेगा, IT CMO से टेकअप करना पड़ेगा आपको. And Pradeep, you can also take a note of it and it should be taken with IT CMO, madam.
नहीं, ये सोरते साहब रिप्लाई कर सकते हैं क्योंकि IMAP का जो भी ऑर्डर है उसमें EME फीड होके तो आ रहा है. We are getting to get this field EME.
तो रचना आप ही तो फिट कर रहे हैं ना इसमें ऑर्डर.
मैं ही फीड कर रही हूँ सर, बट इस बार तो आया प्लांट से रिप्लाई, हाउ विल वी नो दैट इट इज EME सेगमेंट ऑर्डर. हम लोग प्लांट को मेल कर रहे हैं कि IMOP का है EME, बट प्लांट से अभी जस्ट तो ये रिप्लाई आया था जस्ट 3 days बैक. The TDC is not matching exactly with the document. How will plant people know that it is EME segment? Although in reference inquiry number it is mentioned it's IMOP TDC/03. Still this question came, so I thought of bringing it up here.
आप सेल ऑर्डर में अपडेट करते हो एप्लीकेशन, वहाँ पे फील्ड है
लिखा रहता है सर, सेल ऑर्डर में लिखा रहता है और उसका रेफरेंस इंक्वायरी में भी लिखा रहता है IMOP TDC.
जी
ठीक है, अगर वो दिख रहा है प्लांट को तो कोई I wanted to be sure कि हम लोग जो डाल रहे हैं वो प्लांट को दिखता है या नहीं.
Okay, you will discuss with PPC and sort out.
मैडम एक बार सीएमओ आईटी से डिस्कस कर लीजिए, टिकअप कर लीजिए कि आपकी रिक्वायरमेंट है कि शुड फ्लो टू प्लांट, इट शुड बी विजिबल टू प्लांट, तो आपको बताएंगे कहाँ पे फीड करना है आपको, और नहीं तो फील्ड ग्रेड करेंगे आपके लिए, बट दिस रिक्वायरमेंट शुड बी कम्युनिकेटेड टू आईटी सीएमओ मैडम है, शुड तो सर आप थोड़ा लिख देंगे.
यस यस श्योर श्योर.
ठीक है सर.
सर एक फील्ड है एमपी में, एडिशनल डेटा ये में फील्ड है, ईएमई सेगमेंट मेंशन कर सकते हैं वहां, बट दैट डजंट गेट फ्लोन टू प्लांट. वी हैव टू स्पीक विद आईटी फॉर.
नहीं, शर्मा बोल रहे हैं इट डज फ्लो टू द प्लांट एंड tapping that information and putting in our rolling.
So you're getting the segment of the MP.
Additional data B, there is some field.
Additional data A में आता है.
हाँ, additional data A, we are getting that information.
So you're getting that it is a earth moving equipment or yellow goods or something else.
Yes, yes. From that only we have mapped with the help of CNIT and putting that information in our rolling plan, so that there is a special remark that these plates are being rolled for EME segment.
That is good.
And then only all the actions which are to be taken for EME, we are taking it.
Fine. Okay, thanks.
Sir, Rohit Huda, this side, sir, from Hyderabad, sir. I have three questions. First question is, sir, that I mentioned in chat also, many times customer give the length, width of the plates, but we are confused that like whether this is conformed to the standard or not. So we ask for the feasibility from the plant. So I just want to know like what is the most productive weight of a slab, so that we can also have a good idea that our PPC team is and quality team do for the feasibility intimation, sir. First, this question,
weight
sir.
Will be related to always a plate, particular plate dimensions. Just without any plate dimension mentioning, how can we tell what is the productive size of a slab? Because our maximum slab weight is 23. So for that matter, 23 tons becomes my most productive slab. But that does not answer your question. You should tell what is the plate size, then I can be able to tell what is the most productive slab size.
That's what I wanted to ask, sir. Like how we have suppose some dimensions, sir. 63 into 2.5 into 10.5 meter. So how will you come to know, sir?
63, 25, 10 meter. It is well within our production capability. So there is no issue in that.
Like how we come to know, sir? Where is the process?
In my presentation, I showed you our production output sizes: 6200 mm, then 1500 to 4200, then 6300 to 1500. Within these boundaries, we are able to produce with certain limitations or restrictions. But this is the middle size. There is no issue in this.
Can we give this 10 mm also plate, sir?
We are giving daily or alternate days. We are rolling 10 mm.
We can give, sir,
but there is a limit.
Feasibility.
There is a limit.
We say there is a
limit to quantity.
Productivity does not come as how much we reduce the size of thickness, basically. So, what should be the ideal, like for as a being a salesman? What strategy should we follow?
10 mm if is there for a party, a critical requirement, we can supply, of course, with a low productivity and yield loss. But since mill is designed to produce, we can produce. But the mill is also with a particular product mix, like 8 mm maximum 2% of its total capacity, to up to 12 mm maximum 13%. So any order if you give crosses this product mix percentages as defined in the mill capability, then it affects the productivity, overall productivity. This does not stop me from producing that plate. No issue in that. So to see from holistic view, if we give suppose 8 mm 10,000 ton in a order in a month, we can certainly do it. But our overall production in that month may be limited to 40,000 in a place of 80 or 90,000. So to that extent, it is affected.
Actually, suppose sir, many times we get the plate. Suppose this is a standard weight. You just told me in your slides also, sir. Like if finally condition comes out to be in the slab weight also, and like in particular weight of slab, we have to maximize the usage of cooling bed, sir. After,
Yes.
so
Yes,
like
yes.
what is the process? Actually, I wanted to know, sir. From
Suppose
the
10 mm. Let us take an example of 10 mm, 2500 width. So maximum length of that plate which I can roll in our mill is 42 meter. So slab will be defined based on that 42 meter length. Maximum slab will be that only in this from this mill. So you can very well calculate mass volume, take the volume and multiply by density. It will be around 8 tons, 8.5 tons slab weight. That will be the maximum slab weight for a 10 mm in a width of 2500. Of course, if we increase the width like 3 meters, again it will increase to say 9.5 or 10 tons. So maximum width is again 4 meter. So that will go to 11 or 12 ton. Maximum for 10 mm, if we supply 4 meter wide, 40 meter long plate, that is the mother plate length, that will be 12 ton maximum. So this is the way mill is designed. We cannot go above 12 ton, even if the mill is designed to take 23 tons for a 10 mm plate. This is the way it is. Any more questions?
The second question is regarding laminar cooling, sir. Like it is done on all the plates or on specific grades only, or like what is the purpose, sir?
So it is both basically. It is depending on the certain grades and then TTC requirement also in certain. Suppose the grade doesn't ask for a use of ACC, but party has asked ACC use of ACC, so we do give ACC. Sometimes we to achieve the property, suppose there is a less addition of microalloy in that heat. Knowingly, you have kept microalloy at a low range. So to achieve the property of that grade, like 350 BR or 350C, 410, then we have to accordingly use our ACC facility. And the cooling rate will accordingly vary as per the grade and the thickness of the plate. And this is a very critical facility which helps in achieving the plate properties, keeping the alloy content at the minimum, thereby controlling our cost of production. And this is the in thing in all of the new plate mills. They are operating a very low alloy content and achieving the property. This ensures our toughness and weldability, which is a must for any long far place applications where welding is required. Because the higher the carbon, weldability is less. So we keep carbon manganese low and also alloy low, then the cost is less and weldability also improves. So to that extent, accelerated cooling is a must facility in any of the new mills, and it has to be used to the maximum.
Third question, sir. Zinc usage is more in silicon kiln or sir aluminum kiln, sir?
Zinc, I don't know. I'm from basically from plate rolling, so I cannot much comment on this. Maybe we can rope in Mr. Kuntal Patwari.
क्या क्वेश्चन तुम्हारा दोबारा बोलो, क्या क्वेश्चन तुम्हारा हुई, क्या क्वेश्चन बोलो
सर जिंक का यूसेज सर एल्यूमिनियम किलिंग में ज्यादा है सर या सिलिकॉन किल्ड में ज्यादा है सर?
देखो ऐसा होता है, अगर कोई भी हम गैल्वेनाइजिंग प्रोडक्ट बनाते हैं उसके अंदर जिंक का कंजप्शन बढ़ता है इफ सिलिकॉन इज मोर इन द स्टील. So aluminum kiln steel is always preferred for galvanizing applications to reduce the zinc consumption, and it will also give finishing a very bright finish. Could I answer you?
Yes sir, yes sir. Thank you sir.
Okay. शर्मा साहब, शर्मा साहब.
हाँ साहब बोलिए.
शर्मा साहब, हमारे ब्रांचेस में जितने प्रोडक्ट एग्जीक्यूटिव्स काम कर रहे हैं, यंग जनरेशन ऑफिसर्स हैं, इन सब की गाइडेंस के लिए और डे टू डे फंक्शन को फैसिलिटेट करने के लिए एक प्लेट साइज कैलकुलेटर डेवलप करवाइए. ये इनिशिएटिव भिलाई में लिया था बहुत साल पहले. उससे में आप प्लेट साइज कैलकुलेटर, मेरा मतलब है जो आपका ऑप्टिमम वेट है कीपिंग द बिल प्रोडक्टिविटी वेट का, उसको रख के फिनिश करके थिकनेस मल्टीप्लाई बाय लेंथ एंड वेट, उस हिसाब से डेवलप करिए, but you have to feed some input data in there कि what is the optimum weights of slabs. Then हम उससे क्या होगा कि हमारे ब्रांच में वो उसमें डाल के एक कैलकुलेटर में ब्रांचेस देख लेंगे कि कौन सा साइज प्लान के लिए ज्यादा सूट कर रहा है, कौन सा ज्यादा फिजिबल है. तो एवरी टाइम दे विल नॉट हैव टू आस्क. अगर ये फैसिलिटी आप दे सकते हैं तो इट विल बी ग्रेट. और ये भिलाई ने डेवलप किया था, वी कैन टेक इनपुट ऑफ भिलाई आल्सो था.
Okay, we'll discuss PPC and SMS to develop this, because for any plate, what are the slabs available, what are the slabs they can make, that has to be taken into account, because in our product basket we can produce any plate, but slabs have to be there, and those slabs may not be produced.
इसीलिए मैंने आपसे कहा ना, जो प्लेट साइज कैलकुलेटर है जो भिलाई ने डेवलप किया है, राउकेला उसी को डेवलप करे कि कीपिंग इन व्यू ऑल कंस्ट्रेंट्स, क्या स्लैब बन सकता है, क्या नहीं बन सकता, क्या प्लेट गोल होगा, क्या नहीं हो, उनको सब ध्यान रखते हुए तभी तो से कैलकुलेटर कहते हैं सर, which will be the optimum size.
We'll take up with
भिलाई में है, सुनो भिलाई में है, तुम देखो उसको. अरे और कोई है? एनी मोर क्वेश्चन? शावा मैडम.
Sir, I am Nutan from Coimbatore, sir. Sir, some of the orders in, sir, namaste, sir. Sir, some of the orders in PM Plus, particularly for ROB projects, it will have 7 to 8 sizes where the order quantity in each sizes varies from 100 tons to, in some cases, it will come down to 1 or 2 plates, less than 10 tons. So if we have to take that order, we'll have to supply all the plates, even 1 or 2 plates in a single size. So how should we grab those orders, sir? I mean, generally RSP asks for minimum 32 tons in a size, in a thickness width length combination. So if we have to take some 300,
yeah, we have to work
300,
in that
400 tons
line,
order.
yes, sir.
It is getting
work in
difficult
that
for us.
line. What we can do with the all the sizes, what are the number of plates, what is the minimum lot size. Based on that, we can take decisions whether we can able to supply or not. Because the critical part is that every plate is critical.
Yeah,
for that
they want in the last plate to fabricate the girder.
Right. So to that extent, we have to examine and then proceed further.
And most of
So
these
we have
orders
to,
go to JSPL because they can supply. They supply even less than 10 tons in a single size. That's what customers tell.
we have to examine and see how we can move ahead in this.
If that help is if we get that kind of help from plant, then we can bag these 400, 500 tons orders of ROE for a lot of these orders.
Okay. We will discuss with PPC also how we can plan getting this order and service.
Thanks.
सर ईएमई का जो ऑर्डर है वो प्लांट में एक्चुअली फ्लो होते हैं तो प्लांट को मालूम नहीं चलता. इसका हमको कुछ करना होगा ताकि ऑर्डर डालते हैं तो वी आर अवेयर कि ये दिस ऑर्डर बिलोंग्स टू ईएमई. ये हमको एक स्टेप लगता है लेना होगा. मैं सर हमसे बात किया था तो दे कंफर्म की जो ऑर्डर डालते हैं वो प्लांट में फ्लो नहीं होता, टीडीसी वगैरह पूरा उसका.
प्रदीप, इसलिए तुमको हेडक्वार्टर में आईटी से लेना पड़ेगा. आईटी से बात करके एक फील्ड आइडेंटिफाई करना पड़ेगा जो डेटा प्लांट को फ्लो करे, और उससे आप लोग क्रॉस चेक कर सकते हैं प्लांट को मिला नहीं मिला. वंस यू मेक इट फुल प्रूफ दैट विल बी वंस फॉर ऑल, इट शुड बी रिजॉल्व्ड.
हाँ ठीक है, आईटी से बात एक बार करते हैं.
Any more questions, sir?
सर वन मोर क्वेश्चन सर. अपना जो प्लेट्स रहता है सर आरएसपी से, उनमें सर ये जैसे यूटी टेस्टेड हम लोग कई बार एक कस्टमर के बोलने पे रिक्वायरमेंट रहता है प्रोजेक्ट स्पेसिफिक का, तो हम लोग डालते हैं. तो मेरा ये अंडरस्टैंडिंग है सर, मैं अपना लिए पूछना चाह रहा हूँ कि अगर हम लोग नहीं डाले तो हम लोग क्या सारे प्लेट्स पास करेंगे सर यूटी टेस्टिंग सर?
गारंटी तो नहीं दे सकते, बट मोस्ट ऑफ द प्लेट्स विल पास. तो आपको इंश्योर करना है कि हर प्लेट पास करे तो यूटी डालना पड़ेगा सेल ऑर्डर में।
ओके सर।
यूटी का कौन सा लेवल, दैट इज आल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट।
नॉर्मली 425 में तो पास कर जाएगी।
435 में तो मोस्ट ऑफ देम विल पास, बट देना सही है क्योंकि उस हिसाब से हम लोग फिर RHOB में लेते हैं। अगर यूटी नहीं देंगे तो हम RHOB ट्रीटमेंट नहीं करेंगे तो अंदर में उसका इंक्लूजन रह जाएगा, and those will create problem in the later stage.
Sir,
maybe because of mill capability we can achieve most of the plates UT sound. There will be some issues later on.
सर प्रभुक्रम ये कैसे रहता है सर? यूटी टेस्टिंग लाइक वो ऑनलाइन रहता है क्या सर, या अलग अलग ईच प्लेट का अलग से करते हैं?
यहाँ पे मदर प्लेट वाइज ऑनलाइन जो शेयरिंग हमारा यूटी टेस्ट होता है थिनर प्लेट का अप टू 40 mm, वो हमारा ऑनलाइन होता है. देयर इज अ ऑनलाइन यूटी टेस्टिंग मशीन and plates are fed, probes are mounted on the plates and testing is done. In a span of 1 minute, 40 meters long plates are tested. But in offline mode, that is above 40 mm, there is a manual UT testing as is been done other places also. So here also we carry out the same method, manual UT testing. And that takes time around 15-20 minutes per plate.
सर यूटी के केस में क्या 100% वीएडी करते हैं क्या, या को सिलेक्टिव करते हैं, कैसे करते हैं?
हाँ, रिपीट योर क्वेश्चन सर.
अगर यूटी करना हो तो क्या 100% केसेस में those plate mandatory pass to VAD?
Depends on the thickness, sir. If it is less than 20 mm, then we do not take to RHOB. Above 20 mm, mandatory to pass through RHOB. Because of the high reduction facility available in the mill, for the lower thickness, we make the plate UT sound by rolling itself. Further, any further questions?
सर ये 250 में RHOB यूज करेंगे सर अगर सपोज 25 mm है तो?
थिकनेस अगर होगा 32-40 के ऊपर तो करेंगे उसमें भी. हाँ, अगर हायर ग्रेड आप 578 B और C मांग दिए, उसका डिमांड है तो करना पड़ेगा RHOB.
और BR है तो सर 250 BR है तो सर उसमें जाएगा?
BR में भी अगर थिकनेस हाई है, अगर 32-40 के ऊपर है तो उसमें UT RHOB से पास करना पड़ेगा. इंटरनल साउंडनेस नहीं आएगा ना, क्योंकि उसका रिडक्शन उतना हुआ नहीं रहेगा. I think it's over for the time being.
Any more questions? Any more questions? My video is not working, so I am not visible. और कुछ क्वेश्चन तो प्लीज पूछ लीजिए, बिकॉज ऐसा मौका नहीं मिलेगा कि शर्मा सर यहाँ बैठे हैं एंड यू नो ही इज रिप्लाइंग पेशेंटली टू ऑल योर क्वेश्चंस. सो यूज दिस एज एन अपॉर्चुनिटी to ask whatever you want to.
Madam, I think everybody asked the questions. There are no further questions, so let's proceed further, madam.
Yeah, if there are no further questions, then we'll proceed further. Thank you all for your active participation. And Sharma ji, thank you for answering all the questions so patiently.
Thank you, madam.
I just wanted to know, Pankaj Mathur sir, are you connected, sir?
Yes, I am there, madam.
Sir, Pankaj Mathur sir, thank you. Sir has been closely associated with design of this training program. Thank you, sir, for your guidance and support. I request you to kindly share your views on the program and any suggestions for the future sessions, sir.
Good afternoon to all the faculty members from RSP, the coordinators from MTI, and all the participants of CMO. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So I hope all the participants must have found today's session on this product awareness and better customer engagement, that is SPACE, as enriching as I did. It was a wonderful program. Firstly, I would like to take a moment to express my sincere thanks and appreciation to our esteemed faculty members from Rourkela Steel Plant, R.S. Sharma Saab, GM Operations, NPM, RSP, Shri Kuntal Patwari, GM RCL, and Mr. Bri Krishna Giri, Deputy Manager, RNC Lab, for conducting such an informative and engaging session. Your deep insight into these technical aspects of PM plate and the applications certainly enriched the understanding and broadened the perspective of all the participants. Thank you very much for taking out time from your busy schedule to steer this training session. I would like to thank Madam Shabnam and Atanu sir from MTI for arranging this valuable session. Madam Shabnam has very meticulously planned this program and nicely named it as SPACE by working, and she has worked very even meticulously and even in the minutest of the aspect, so that the participants can take the maximum value out of this program. I am thankful to Madam Lupa Mudra and the HR team of CMO headquarters for quickly arranging this program after this session has been conceptualized. I'd also like to acknowledge the top management of CMO, including my ED Marketing, ED Sales and ITD, and DC sir, whose vision and commitment has made this series of case study program possible. Their keen focus reflects the management's belief in the value of our people and the critical role which our executives are playing in driving the sales growth. I'm very thankful to all the participants for your active participation. Today's space session has provided us very valuable insights on PM plate of RSP, and I trust that the knowledge which we have gained will significantly enhance the ability to represent sales PM plate in market space and with more confidence and competence. CMO along with MTI has always been striving to bring the best of technical knowledge as well as the management practice to our employees. And this training session is one of the many in this series. As Madam has already said that we have arranged a series of this space program. This is the first one, and we'll be having on a monthly basis on various products. So thank you all once again, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. And anything which you find lacking, you can either speak to me, write to me, or to MTI. We'll try to improvise on the program, and whatever the product executive, the field executives are requiring from our side, we are always here to help you out. Thank you all once again for your active participation. Thank you.
Thank you, Pankaj sir. Thank you for your words of encouragement. I would like to thank ED Sales and ITD, CGM Marketing, Pankaj Mathur sir, RM Western Region, Natarajan sir, Shailendra sir, Mukesh Mittal sir, Pradeep sir, especially for joining even when you are on tour. Our esteemed faculty from RSP, and most of all the product executives for sparing their valuable time. I hope you found the session fruitful. If you have any feedback or suggestions, you can DM me. My phone number is 8986 880 635. And email ID is shabnam@sale.in. Thank you once again. As I told you initially, there is a small learning assessment quiz that you can just to have a feeling of how much you learned from the program. So basically, this is a multiple choice question and answer. 10 questions are there, and only each question has only one correct answer. We initially thought of displaying the score, but then we thought ki chalo theek hai, let us keep it as the top scorer only will get a surprise gift. So I'll just try to share my the QR code for the quiz, so that you can it is on Microsoft Forms and you can access. There is some problem with my video, so agar nahi dikhega, to what we'll do is we'll try to attempt it from somewhere else. I'm just trying to get it from my desktop. I think that because there is some problem with my camera, I'm not able to share my screen with you. My camera has stopped working. What I suggest is that you log into e-Abhigyan, and after logging to e-Abhigyan, you go to a search by PACE PACE. There you will, once you click on the program name, you will get the quiz. There are 10 questions. Kindly attempt the quiz. Will be Pankaj sir, I'll be sharing the result of the quiz with you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Because I tried, but I think there is some problem, so I'm not able to share the QR code. So we'll have to keep it like that. You kindly attempt everybody kindly attempt it from e-Abhigyan. You all must be having your user ID and password. You can go and attempt the quiz today itself. Okay, thank you everyone. Thanks for your active participation and sparing your valuable time. As I requested earlier, please give your feedback and suggestions so that we can improve upon this program. Thank you everyone. Have a great day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
So much.